You are watching a broadcast of the ACC Network Extra on ESPN. It's game one of a key three-game ACC Atlantic Division Series as the Florida State Seminoles welcome the fourth-ranked Clemson Tigers to Tallahassee. Greetings, college baseball fans. Alongside the big shooter Chip Baker, I'm Jason Laterme. And Chip, when you look at the ACC standings for this pivotal series here, two teams in different directions with Clemson sitting at the top and Florida State right in the middle of the pack.
Again, Clemson's playing as good as anybody in the country, 29-5 overall. Florida State's got to get it going, 21-14 right now, and sub 500 in the ACC.
Still a lot of ground to make up for them, and they've got time to do it with 15 games left in the ACC.
Again, a lot in front of you. Half the season's in front. It's time for Florida State to start putting it together.
And we'll take a look at the showdown tonight for Saturday night's game. Charlie Barnes, a left-hander for Clemson, and Cole Sands for the Seminoles.
A better ball club for Clemson. And you got a great guy on the mound. Both these ball clubs will have to put the ball in play because these guys do not walk.
And it should be an exciting matchup here for game one of the series. We'll bring it to you live right after this. Taking a look at Cole Sands, who will get the start on game one. Cole Sands from Tallahassee, sitting at 6'3", 210. He's had a nice sophomore campaign, leads the team in wins, 5-2, posting a 3.53 ERA. This will be his ninth start of the season, and he has thrown 43 1/3 innings with 35 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .270 against the sophomore right-hander. So as Cole takes his warm-up pitches, take a look at him once again. And now we'll go ahead and look at Clemson's batting lineup, who they'll feature today. Leading off and playing center field will be Chase Pender. Batting second will be Reed Rollman. Shortstop freshman and switch hitter Logan Davidson. Batting cleanup will be the catcher, Chris Williams. Batting fifth, power hitter and Seth Beer. Batting sixth will be Andrew Cox, playing first base. The designated hitter will be Robert Jolly. Second base will be Jordan Green. And batting ninth will be Grayson Bird. Hello there, Chip Baker. How are you, sir?
Jason, tell me, let's play some baseball.
And we are about to do that. Chip joining me now after coordinating all the pregame festivities. Chip, once again, nice job.
I said I was working, but it's probably the most fun I've had all year, Jack, being around those ball players that played in the late 90s and mid-90s. And that was a good of people as you want to be around. A lot of those guys went to 3 College World Series. And, again, fun to be around those guys.
And we are underway. First pitch, called strike by the home plate umpire, Frank Sylvester. Rounding out the umpiring crew at first base will be Brent Rice. At second base will be Joe Jakowitz. And at third base will be David Pritchett. So the second pitch from Coles is hit into the hole between short and third for a base hit for Chase Pender. So a nice start for the Clemson Tigers.
Pitch middle. Just a good short swing there for Pender, and he got a great job of just pulling the ball through the left side. At first base, he'll run a little bit, Jason. He's 6 of 8 for the year.
And this is a Clemson team who will look to strike early and often. And that's a big part of their success so far this year, in which they have attacked the opposing players. And it's a big key to their 29-5 start. Right now they're outscoring the opposition, Chip, 58-12 over the first 2 innings, including 33-5 in the first inning.
They lost 2 of the first 3 ball games of the year, so that shows how well they've been playing since opening weekend.
No doubt, and after dropping that opening series against Wright State, they have won every series since then, including a 3-game set against South Carolina, a series in which is a little similar to how the Florida State and Florida play, although it's during the midweek. They do one in Columbia, one at a neutral site park there at the minor league stadium, and then a 1-1 pitch by Reed Rollman is laced out to left field, so a good start by Clemson, putting 2 runners on with back-to-back base hits to left.
Good left-handed swing by Rollman here. That's why he leads the club in hitting. It's his 40th hit of the year. And again, they swinging the best early and often, as you said.
And we'll take a look at the Seminole defense. We'll take a look at that here in just a moment. But now we're taking a look at the number 3 hitter in the Clemson lineup and switch hitter Logan Davidson. It's a freshman shortstop for the Tigers who's having an outstanding start to his collegiate career. Starting in 34 games, he's hitting .302. He's got 38 hits, 5 doubles, 6 home runs, and 23 RBI. As I said, he's a freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. And that ball is dribbled in front. Cole Sands will get to it, and in time to get Davidson, but does the job in moving the runners. And so now we'll take a look at the Seminole defense. From left to right will be Jackson Luke, J.C. Flowers in center, Rhett Applin in right. Around the base pass, Busby at third, Taylor Walls at short, Matt Henderson started second, and Drew Mendoza at first. And the battery tonight, once again, Cole Sands, as we had mentioned earlier, will be throwing to Cal Raleigh. So now with 1 out, the Clemson Tiger catcher stands into the box. Chris Williams with runners in scoring position here in the first inning. Cole Sands starts Williams off with a breaking pitch, 0-1. So Cole getting ahead early, but Clemson doing the job in terms of getting base runners on, and now, like I said, with 2 on and running in scoring position.
Good pitch inside. Fastball had a lot of movement, ran on his hands for the strike. Going back to Logan Davidson's swing and bunt, did a job. Clemson only has bunted 17 times for the year. That swing and bunt to Logan Davidson did a job, moved the runners up.
Their ball club that's that 0-2 pitch fouled behind us. Count remains 0-2, but the Clemson Tigers hitting .282 on the year. Look at the crowd. Once again, another nice crowd here. The start of the series, once again, key ACC Atlantic Division series. Not only for the Seminoles, but also for the Tigers, as the Tigers looking to keep pace with Louisville, who swept Georgia Tech. As we start this series, we've already got a couple series that are already up, and then, of course, that pitch, the infield moving in, so certainly knowing that Clemson gets ahead early on teams, Coach Mike Martin putting the wheels in motion to try and get a runner out at home if they're
trying to cut
going
their
on
run.
contact.
The batter, Jason, batter feels those guys crashing in on them. But I tell you what, Cal Raleigh, that ball bounced a foot or so inside the left-hander batter's box. He did a great job of getting that ball in front of it. Biggest thing, keeping it where it doesn't get away from him and allowing Pender to score from third.
Absolutely, and the 1-2 pitch is hammered foul by Williams all over that pitch. But it goes foul and out of play. So now 1-2 count remains to the junior catcher. Williams leading the team, currently second on the team in home runs. Leads the team in RBI with 33, so an RBI opportunity here with runners at second and third and 1 out. 1-2 pitch. The outside part of the plate and in the left-hander's batter's box outside, so now 2-2.
Williams being very selective. He did not chase the slider off the plate.
And that 2-2 offering now fouled. So Williams staying alive here, making Sands work. And that ball is lifted to left field. Should be deep enough to plate a run. Jackson Luke under it. And that will be far enough to score Chase Pender. So credit Williams with a sack fly and give the Tigers an early 1-0 lead.
Just a good job of hitting all around, staying with, fouling balls off, getting too deep in the count. The ball's too deep to try to make a throw. And Roman stayed at second base.
So now 2 down. And now steps in Seth Beer. Beer leading the team in home runs with 9 on the year. Had an outstanding freshman campaign a season ago. In which he was named All-American by several different publications. And is certainly a big threat at the plate. So now 2-0. Also leads the team in walks with 37.
Everybody realized who he is after the great year he had in 2016. His batting average is not where he wants it to be, but I tell you what, he's doing a tremendous job of scoring runs, hitting home runs, driving runs in.
So right now, looks like Cole Sands being very careful with Beer. And Beer, of course, is the guy who can certainly change a game with one swing of the bat. And they're going to go ahead and intentionally walk him. So a little... So Seth Beer has played 97 games, Chip. He's reached base in 93 of the last 95 games.
That's production. His on base percentage just went up, and it's 452 right now. So it's gone up a little bit since the game started.
And that's it, second on the team. And now, after intentionally walking Beer, head coach Mike Martin will head to the mound and visit Cole Sands. Obviously, realizing this is a key moment and knowing that Clemson likes to get on the board early, as we had mentioned, scoring 33 runs in the first inning, outscoring opponents 33-5. So Coach Martin wanted to go out there, settle down his pitcher, making sure that signs are right, knowing the batter that they're going to be facing here, and Andrew Cox knowing how to pitch him. And take a look at Monty Lee, Chip, and Monty Lee just doing an outstanding job in just his second season with the Clemson Tigers, and someone who's familiar with the ballpark here, playing here 2 years ago as a head coach of College of Charleston, and then, of course, now here with the Clemson Tigers.
And what a great job he did in 2016. Came in again, whole ball club in front of him, did a tremendous job. A young ball club, ended up winning, battled Florida State that long day in May last year. And like he played for 6-7 hours at the ballpark. And I think Florida State and Clemson played on 3 or 4 different television networks during that day. Clemson prevailed in the ACC championship.
First pitch to Cox is inside, so 1-0.
Crowd did not like that first pitch. It's right around the plate. Sands trying to work that fastball in. Just got it just a tad inside.
That breaking pitch in for a called strike. Frank Sylvester liking that one. So the 1-1 pitch now is on the inside part. Cox pops it up to the infield. Matt Henderson underneath it and catches it. So could have been a lot worse for the Seminoles as Clemson gets 1 run after getting 2 hits to lead off the games. And welcome back to Mike Martin Field at Dick Howser Stadium for Game 1 of a key ACC Atlantic Division Series here on the ACC Network Extra. Thanks for joining us here. Clemson with an early 1-0 lead. Once again, another fantastic crowd on hand for just another great day of baseball. We've had a lot of those here in Tallahassee. Been very blessed with some fantastic weather. And we'll take a look now at Clemson starting pitcher and Charlie Barnes from Sumter, South Carolina, in his junior campaign. got 8 starts on the year, 4-2 with a 1.51 ERA. He's tallied 53 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 41 hits. Walked only 10 while striking out 67.
That's a big key. Getting to 53 innings as we go to the lineup here.
We'll take a look at the Seminole batting lineup for today. Just the third time that they'll use this lineup. And it'll look, Taylor Walls will lead off and play shortstop. Batting second will be Dylan Busby. Returns after missing a few games with an injury. Batting third will be Jackson Luke. Returns after missing a couple days. And cleanup will be Quincy Naporte. Batting fifth will be Cal Raleigh. Batting in the sixth spot will be Drew Mendoza. Seventh will be Red Applin. Batting eighth will be J.C. Flowers. And batting ninth will be Matt Henderson. So the last time Taylor Walls opened the bottom of the first, he drilled one over the right center field fence against the Florida Gators on Tuesday night. He looks at that pitch for called strike one. Charlie Barnes is a 3-pitch guy. Not going to certainly power you with power stuff. He has a fastball, changeup, breaking pitch. As Coach Lee mentioned earlier, that he's a strike thrower, and he's got good run and good movement on all of his pitches.
Taylor Walls, again, his batting average is not where he wants it. He's still about 120 points below where he was this time last year, but his on base percentage is over 400. He's chased a great pitch off the plate.
And a good start by Charlie Barnes, getting Walls chasing on that pitch out on the plate. So a good start for Barnes. 1 out for the Seminoles here in the bottom of the first.
Turned the pitch over like a changeup. This ball dove away from him. Good pitch by Barnes.
You take a look at what Barnes is doing so far in terms of limiting batters to 216 average. And now he's got 68 strikeouts to go along with just 10 walks. So a guy that does not walk anybody. Now you take a look at Dylan Busby. He looks at first pitch low. Busby returns to the lineup after missing the Florida game. It's, of course, good to have a bat of Busby's caliber back in the lineup. That pitch misses inside, so now 2-1 to the junior third baseman.
He's dealing with a shoulder injury about 2 weeks ago. Something nagging in his back this past week.
That ball is hit up the middle, but tipped by Barnes.
1-6-3.
And gloved by Davidson. Throws over for the outs. Now 2 down, and we'll take a look at the Clemson lineup. So from left to right will be Rollman, Pinder, and Beer. And around the base pass will be Bird, Davidson, Green, and Cox. Charlie Barnes, starting pitcher. And Chris Williams gets the start at catcher tonight.
Sometimes that's how the ball bounces. Charlie Barnes, the pitcher, did not touch that ball. It goes up the middle for a base hit.
So credit Barnes with an assist there. And so 2 quickly gone now in the bottom of the first. Jackson Luke steps in, and as we mentioned, we're going through the Seminole batting lineup. Missed a good 2 weeks as he had shingles.
Early part of March. No, early part of March was shingle with shin splints.
Right.
Shin splints. Then this past week he came down with shingles, and it happened. He crashed into the wall against Florida Gulf Coast here a couple weeks ago, and thought he might have bruised some ribs, and he's been hurting in his chest. And he drives the ball to right. Excuse me, Jason. But again, it's one of those things that just he got well real quick.
Yeah, so. And a well hit ball by Luke, but right to the right fielder. And so nothing doing for the Seminoles in the first, and 1 complete here in Tallahassee. The Tigers lead 1-0. And welcome back to Tallahassee. Clemson on top early, 1-0 as we head to the top of the second. Tigers taking advantage of singles from their first 2 batters in their lineup. Converted that into a run on a sac fly by Chris Williams. And so now leading off for the Tigers here on the top of the second will be the designated hitter, Robert Jolly. Getting a great look at the fans in the grandstands, in the outfield bleacher seats. Still fans pouring in. As we continue to show crowd shots throughout the game, you'll notice a lot of people with the patented old gold shirts, Chip, thrown across their shoulder or even wearing it. And, of course, paying homage to J.D. Drew and the jersey retirement with the old gold jerseys, which is always good to see return.
Had a bunch of calls. Even the Florida State players are asking me, how can they get their hands on one of those, as I call it, the old gold school bus yellow.
I'm a little disappointed that the Noles didn't come out in the old gold uniforms today. And a ground ball by Jolly, handled nicely by Mendoza, who stepped on the bag for the first out in the second. I know you got those stored away somewhere, so they've got to be able to fit all these players. You got to imagine. So now stepping in will be the second baseman, and Jordan Green.
Going back to this old gold, the old school bus yellow gold, I call it. When we played Clemson when I was coaching and wore those two colors, they really clashed on the field a little bit.
Well, no doubt. I can imagine. First pitch swinging by Green, handled nicely by Walls, throws over to Mendoza for out number 2. So 2 quickly gone here. So a good start for Cole Sands here in the top of the second. It was these first 2 innings that Coach Martin was talking about early on, is to try and limit Clemson's damage to, because they've certainly attacked teams early. As I mentioned in the first inning, in the second inning, they're doing just as well, outscoring opponents 25-7. So over the first 2 innings, Clemson has outscored the opponents 58-12. So Grayson Burr now steps in as the number 9 hitter for Clemson, hitting .307. Appeared in 28 games, 26 starts. He's hitting .307 on the year.
Would be great for Sands to get this third out.
Ball misses on the inside, so now 2-1 to Bird.
He's thrown a minimum number of pitches prior to Bird coming up there.
So that 2-1 pitch is fouled off to the left side, so now 2-2. And after a 21-pitch first inning, Cole Sands looking to get out with minimal pitches here in the second. 2-2 offering to Bird. Just misses on the outside. Some of the Noles like that pitch. Frank Sylvester felt differently there, so now runs the count full to Bird. And that ball misses high. So after getting 2 quick outs, Bird draws a 2-out walk here. And that'll go back to the top of the order. And Chase Bender is already 1 for 1 on the evening with a single to left.
No, he's disappointed in that. Had him 1-2, missed with a 1-2 pitch off the plate and came back with a nothing pitch up. Make him swing the bat. Bat ninth for a reason. Goes back to the top of the order here.
That was just second walk of the game, because they had the intentional walk in the first. So now 16 walks on the year now for Cole Sands, and both starting pitchers today certainly have limited the number of walks that they have issued this year.
And Grayson Bird, it was only his 10th walk of the year in about 90 at-bats.
That ball foul tipped at the plate. Go 1-1, and Cal Raleigh will take a visit out to Cole Sands. Just make sure they're on the right page. So, Chip, we talked a little bit about the jersey numbers out in left center, and certainly a nice added touch. I know you were going through different things on what you were going to do and how you were going to make it visible for everybody to see.
Don't put that word "you" in there a lot. There's a lot of people that got involved with that.
No doubt about it.
Ideas.
But a nice job once again, as I know you have a hand in coordinating all that stuff. And that 1-1 pitch fouled off at the plate. So now 1-2 to Pender.
One of the first people I reached out to when this was decided that we're going to do it this year was Jana Howser, Dick Howser's daughter. Very good friend. She's like my little sister. And she sent a tremendous video back, and I think they'll play it sometime at the ballpark sometime during the night. I know it'll be on social media. And again, it's just she's so appreciative of Florida State, what they did for her father. And also J.D. Drew was inducted in the Hall of Fame last year, and she's part of the College Baseball Hall of Fame as far as the executive director of it. So she was excited.
That 1-2 pitch misses, and I know texting with Jana earlier today, she was – we'll take a look at that 1-2 pitch.
See right there, Raleigh caught it outside of his knee, trying to get it to come back. Pender pulled the legs back just to make sure.
So now the 2-2 offering to Pender with Bird at first. Once again goes to the inside, but misses high on this one.
Sands is doing a good job of working in, just missing off the plate, but doing a good job. That sets up his pitches away.
So now once again goes to a 3-2 count.
Good shot at the crowd down the right field line. This ballpark's filling up quickly.
That ball hammered out to left field, and it'll be over the head of Jackson Luke. Bounce off the wall, gets away from Luke, and they're going to send the runner. So Matt Henderson will throw. And it goes off the glove of Raleigh. And then Bird goes back and touches home plate. So I don't know if Bird ever actually touched home plate on that. And, of course, he came back to get it. But then on this play, Cal Raleigh does a nice job of receiving the ball, blocking the plate, if you will. But he didn't hold on to the ball, and then, of course, Bird comes back to step on the plate to score the run.
Well, he did a tremendous job. You cannot block the plate, but he took the foot and drove him off the plate. You can't block the plate without a ball, and he did a great job. Again, get to the ball, make a tag, and Raleigh just a tad late doing it. Throw was high.
Of course, the advantage there for Clemson with Bird running on that 3-2 pitch with 2 outs, and so really any ball into the gap, or on that case, that ball bounded off the wall and got away from Jackson Luke. So missed the first cutoff, but it hit Henderson, and then Henderson made a nice throw over to Raleigh, but Raleigh just couldn't hang on. So once again, Clemson with another run here early, now with a 2-0 lead. So Reed Rallman, who singled to left in his first plate appearance, now steps in. 1-1 pitch misses inside. It's now 2-1.
Very tight strike zone. Frank Sylvester is a very consistent umpire, but it looks like tonight's a hitter's zone. Don't swing at it if it's 2 balls off the plate. It's a ball anyway, but he's not going to expand it much.
So that ball is hammered out to right center, and that's not going to reach any glove of the Seminole, and it'll fall in. Roman hustles in for a double, so an RBI. Another 2-out hit for Clemson. Back-to-back RBI doubles. Once again, Pender and Roman doing the damage for Clemson here. Take a look at the Seminole bullpen, and a couple people running down there to get loosened up. So certainly not the start for Cole Sands here. And, of course, as we mentioned early on, a key game for the Seminoles. Currently riding a 3-game losing streak, looking to get that snapped here this weekend. But, of course, they're running into a very good Clemson Tiger team who's 29-5 and is playing very good baseball right now. They've won 6 in a row and 15 of its last 16. They've won 10 of their last 11 in ACC play. And that ball is hammered out to right center, and that'll bound off the fence out in right center. So 3 straight doubles for the Tigers, and so now the Tigers lead 4-0 here in the top of the second.
Leaving the ball out over the middle of the plate, and again, what a great swing by the freshman, Logan Davidson. Breaking ball middle down. Didn't get it down enough and just drove it off the screen in right center.
So after what looked like was going to be a nice 1-2-3 inning for Cole Sands and the Seminoles after getting 2 quick ground ball outs, after issuing the walk to the 9-hole hitter, Clemson has responded with 3 straight doubles, including, 3 straight RBI doubles. So now Chris Williams steps in, who's responsible for the first Clemson run on a sac fly to left.
It all started with Grayson Bird, a 2-out walk, kept this inning alive, and Clemson's made him pay for it, as you said, with the 3 doubles in a row. 3 runs on the board.
And this is what this Clemson team looks to do, is to get on the board early. And with the pitching staff and the pitching performance that they've gotten all season long, at times 3-4 runs is certainly in the comfort zone of these pitchers. Especially when you look at Charlie Barnes and the numbers that he's put up this year, allowing just 12 runs in 53 2/3 innings. So that 1-1 pitch hit off the end of the bat, but may drop in left field, and it does. Jackson Luke diving attempt comes up just short. That ball came off the end of the bat and just dropped in beyond the reach of a diving Jackson Luke. So make it 4 straight RBI doubles for Clemson here in the top of the second.
As they say, it rains, it pours, and again made a decent pitch off the plate. As you said, swinging on a breaking ball, got it up a little bit, but he got it off the end of the bat. Luke's playing deep. Just didn't get glove on it, made Taylor Walls go all the way out to left field to go get it.
And that'll be it for Cole Sands, as head coach Mike Martin has seen enough and has made the call to the bullpen. And it looks like he'll be turning to number 17, Clayton Kwiatkowski. And we'll talk more about Clayton when we come back here from the ACC Network Extra. And welcome back to Tallahassee, and we take a look at the new Seminole pitcher, and Clayton Kwiatkowski, freshman left-hander from Tampa, Florida. Kwiatkowski making his 10th relief appearance and putting up good numbers in his freshman campaign. Doesn't have a record, but it has an ERA of 0.75. Giving up just 1 run in 12 innings of work. Struck out 14, walking just 4, while opponents are hitting 171. And so he'll step in to face Seth Beers, a little left-on-left action here. So Coach Martin certainly having to go to the bullpen much shorter than he had anticipated to start this series off. So Kwiatkowski will inherit a runner. That's Williams at second base. Kwiatkowski being tasked with trying to put a stop to this 4-run second inning, which has featured a 2-out walk and then 4 straight RBI doubles. Kwiatkowski evens the count at 1-1.
Maybe a good reason bringing in Kwiatkowski to left-hander. Clemson has 5 left-handed hitters in their lineup.
That ball in the dirt, swing by Beer, but it will advance the runner to the third. So now Williams moves up 90 feet. On that wild pitch, that Beer did swing around. Take a look here. Check swing certainly did go far enough. Nice block by Raleigh, but
Got to keep that right shoulder closed and let that ball leak out, and it did.
It was far enough away from Williams to advance, and so now the 1-2 pitch from Beard is ripped to the gap in right center, and this will be another double for the Tigers. Give them another RBI. Another run. That's 5 now in the second. Make it 6-0 for Clemson. 5 straight RBI doubles. We'll take a look at the swing by Beer.
Tremendous swing, tremendous ball player. One of the best hitters in the country. Not the league, but the country. Took the 1-2 pitch and drove it to the right center. As you mentioned, 5 straight. All that's coming after a 2-out walk. And in that 2-out walk, he had the batter 1 ball, 2 strikes. And everything's just falling apart here for Florida State in the second inning. All going Clemson.
Yeah, as they say, walks will certainly kill, and this time it does. And now after that walk, 5 straight RBI doubles by Clemson. This Clemson team will attack and attack early. And once again, that's on display here in the first game.
2 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 46 pitches, 27 for strikes.
So now, Andrew Cox at the plate. Comes the 9th Tiger hitter of the inning. So with that last run scored, that puts a final line. That ball will foul off the leg of Cox, so count will go to 2-1. That'll put the final line now on Cole Sands, who goes just an inning and 2/3, so his shortest outing this year. And he'll be charged with all 6 runs. All of them will be earned on 6 hits. So certainly not the start the Seminoles were looking for in a game and in a series that they would desperately need. So now the count goes to 3-1 to Cox, who popped out to Henderson at second to end the first. The 3-1 offering is low, so the inning continues as Kwiatkowski issues a walk to Cox. So Chip, all this damage coming with 2 outs in the inning. That brings up Robert Jolly, who grounded out to start the inning. That ground ball went to Drew Mendoza at first.
Sands was going through the first 2 outs, I believe, on 2 pitches, 2 ground balls, and all of a sudden everything exploded there for Clemson, on Clemson's way.
So now the first pitch to Jolly. Swing and a miss. Raleigh keeps that ball in front of him now. 0-1. As we mentioned earlier, Clemson looking to keep atop the Atlantic Division standings and keeping pace with Louisville. Clemson entered the day 13-2 in the ACC, 29-5 overall. They opened the weekend a game up. That ball fouled off. Game up on Louisville, but Louisville, who's already completed their series, they started Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they swept Georgia Tech in Atlanta. So, of course, now the Tigers looking to keep pace with the Cardinals here in the Atlantic Division. Oh-2 pitch misses high, so now 1-2.
Just a good miss, up and away. Hoping he'd take a swing at it. This crowd's trying to get behind Florida State.
That ball certainly in the inside part of the plate, and Jolly turns on it. Almost sneaks it past Mendoza there, but the ball is fouled and gloved nicely by Mendoza on that play. So once again, another 1-2 pitch fouled off. So not only is Clemson getting the work they need from their starters, but their relief pitching has been equally as impressive, with the bullpen going 9-1 with a 2.30 ERA and opponents hitting just 200 against them in 2017. So that ball laced down the line and left, and that'll score at least one, and they'll hold up Cox at third, so mark it another double for the Tigers. Their 6th of the inning. So another nice 2-out piece of hitting for the Tigers. Give them their 6th run of the inning, 7th run of the game.
Tremendous job of hitting, staying inside out the ball to left field. Never seen it. This is like they're going up there and they're doing a great job of staying inside the ball. They pull the ball if they can, but not. They go the other way.
So the inning now will continue with Jordan Green. Green, who made the 2nd out of this inning, grounded out to shortstop. And a balk is called on Kwiatkowski, so that'll give the Tigers another run. 7th of the inning, give them now an 8-0 lead. And Kwiatkowski, not quite sure what he did there, and so Cal Raleigh will go out to talk with him. Of course, head coach Mike Martin wants to know what exactly Kwiatkowski did. So Frank Sylvester explaining to the veteran head coach. So we're taking a look.
His hand went forward. If you're going to get real picky, his hand went forward. He went back and wiped his hand off, but his hand went forward, and that's what Frank Sylvester saw.
Borderline?
Yeah.
I mean, I think in my times of covering baseball, I probably have seen a few other things that may have been a little more blatant, but that one,
I don't think anyone would have said balk. And I've been on the ball field many a time coaching third base, so I probably had opportunity to see that, the left-handed pitcher.
So now, with the runner at third, Kwiatkowski facing Green, as I mentioned, grounded out earlier in this inning to short. Takes a look at a called strike. That 0-1 pitch misses inside, so now 1-1 to the sophomore second baseman.
Raleigh got lucky there, picked that ball and run on third. Like a hockey goalie just getting a pick on it. Trying to work to get the outside pitch on that 2-1 pitch.
So now the count runs to 3-1 to Green. That pitch fouled off, so now count runs full, 3-2. So Mills looking to get out of this inning. Clemson already putting up 7 runs here in the second. Taking an 8-0 lead.
Green's been a tough out, tough to strike out.
That ball right down the plate and looks at it for a called strike 3, so that'll do it. Clemson scores 7 runs, all with 2 outs. In the inning, take a look at the strikeout to end the inning. But 7 runs for the Tigers. They now lead 8-0. Well, welcome back. Looking at the fans here in attendance at today's ball game. Certainly a lot of energy from the youngsters, and this crowd was energetic early, Chip, as we unveiled the jersey retirement of J.D. Drew. And after a 7-run second, it's gotten a little quiet, but Quincy Naporti looking to change that around here as he steps in to lead off the bottom of the second to try and get this Seminole offense going. Quincy hitting .296 on the year in 34 starts. Tie for the home run lead with 6 and leading the team with RBI at 41. Takes a called strike there, so now 1-1. Mentioned Charlie Barnes making his second start against Florida State. That ground ball to short. Davidson has it and throws over for out number 1. As we mentioned, Barnes making his second career start against the Seminoles. Last year went 4 1/3 in Clemson, gave up 3 earned on 6 hits, walked 2, and struck out 3 as he did not factor into the decision. And the way Charlie Barnes has pitched all year this year, he's given up just 12 runs all year. This 8-run cushion looks mighty nice for him right now. The most he's given up this year is 3 runs, and he did that against Georgia Tech back on March 31st. So now 2-0 to Cal Raleigh. The Seminole catcher steps in. Cal Raleigh, another one of those guys who still trying to get things going here for the Seminoles. Offensively, hitting .230 with 4 home runs, 9 doubles, 21 RBI.
Thing about Florida State, Jason, has not seen many left-handed pitchers in the last couple weeks. Raleigh, a switch hitter, not batted much from the left side. Florida did a great job in Tuesday night's ball game with a left-hander. Tremendous job when it had the bases loaded.
That ball jammed to Raleigh, and it'll be pop out to Bird at third for out number 2. And talk about the left-handed starters, and Florida State with a good 10-1 record so far against left-handed pitchers.
It looked like Charlie Barnes kind of quick pitched Raleigh there, throwing the ball about 90 miles an hour. Wasn't like he was throwing it at 98 or so. Just ran that ball in on his hands. If it had been a wooden bat, would have been picking pieces up. Brings up Mendoza. Left side's playing pretty deep. There with Bird at third base, and Mendoza looked for the bunt. Perfect foul, got a piece of it. Strike 1.
Drew Mendoza making his 10th start. Missed the first half of the season with an injury, and that ball called a strike on the outer part of the plate. So now the freshman first baseman down 0-2. He's coming off a nice series at NC State. That ball in the right-handed batter's box, so now 1-2. Tries to get Mendoza to chase on the outer part of the plate. As we said against NC State, Mendoza hit .500 with a home run, 2 doubles, and 3 runs. He's had 7 RBI and 4 doubles in his last 4 games, but here grounds out to Green at second. And that'll do it for the Seminoles, 3 up, 3 down. And so we've played 2 complete, 8-0 Tigers. When we come back, we'll have J.D. Drew in the booth. And welcome back to ACC Network Extra Baseball here in Tallahassee. It's Clemson leading at 8-0 as we head to the top of the third, and Clayton Kwiatkowski back on the mound for the Seminoles. And here joining us in the booth is J.D. Drew. And J.D., welcome, and always good to have you back in the ballpark here.
Always great to be home. I tell you, I love this place. Feels like I left yesterday.
And, of course, always Chip Baker here along with us. And
I wish you'd leave Tuesday. Leave till Tuesday.
Oh, well, hey, we got to rub some
games.
luck on them right here, right now.
So here we step in with Bird facing 1-0 count. And, J.D., just take us through, obviously, this moment for you, a special moment, and just becoming just the second Seminole to have their jersey retired. It's got to be a special moment for you.
Yeah, there's no greater honor. I've accomplished a lot in my college career and my major league career. I said that on the field today, but there's no greater honor that I've received greater than the retirement of my jersey 39.
And that bounding ball will get through past the diving Henderson, so a good start for Clemson here in the third with a single. And so, you mentioned Dick Howser, late great, became the first 2-time All-American here in school history, and then obviously he was the coach here and then left to be the manager in the major leagues. But to have your name alongside Dick Howser has got to be pretty special too.
Oh, it's incredible. I won the Dick Howser Award my junior year. It was one of the accomplishments that I hoped to achieve, and went out and tried to put together a good campaign, win the Spikes, win the Baseball America Player of the Year, Dick Howser Trophy. Those were all intertwined, and I just really more than anything wanted to do it for the university, wanted to have that kind of great year and set myself up for future things in baseball. But looking back on it, what a great year it was.
And it was a great year. And, I mean, still to this day, you're the only player to do the 30-30, which is a pretty amazing feat. And I know the game has changed a lot, especially with the bats and whatnot. But still, to be able to hit 30 home runs and steal 30 bases, as well as put up the triple-triple that you did, I mean, with the 100 runs and the RBI, and the hits is just phenomenal.
Well, it was just one of those things where you go out, you grind out at bats every day. You don't focus too much on the stats. As a matter of fact, that year early on, I was into, which for a college guy, hitting 355 is pretty good, but I was 350, 355, and just kind of in a little, wasn't in the rhythm I wanted to be in, and things just kind of, teammates pulled me aside, said, hey, man, have fun. You're kind of uptight a little bit, and those things paid off. I had great teammates around me, and we had a lot of fun playing together, and that made the game a lot of fun to play, and it allowed me to be able to produce at a high level because we enjoyed it so much.
That's got to show a lot, too. Seeing your teammates, along with your family on the field today,
Sure.
but seeing those teammates come back, the Jeremy Morrises, the Brian Cox, seeing them come back and celebrate this moment with you.
Man, it's awesome. Look, I got guys like Chip Baker and Jeremy Morris and Jeremy Salazar and Brooks Badeau text. He wasn't able to make it, and I've got great relationships with all these guys that continue to be some of the greatest relationships I have in life. And so we share memories and we share laughs, and a lot of it's not even about baseball, but, man, it's fun to come back here and be a part of Seminole country for sure.
And that's what it's all about, too. I mean, a lot of that is the college experience and being able to share that, not even baseball moments, but saying that you have that family, outside of, your primary family.
Listen, this is the greatest thing in my life is to come back 20 years later and bring my wife and kids on the field, let them share it with me. I mean, me and my wife knew each other at the time, but there was no future for us. That we weren't dating or anything, and now here we're married, have 5 kids, and they get to go out there running around during speeches and having a good time. It's just life, and we've had a great time.
You got your mother and dad here.
My
and
mom
Granny
and
over
dad, my
office
91-year-old granny.
They take over. I love it more than you do. I'm loving this
I know,
weekend.
we love it. Look, our cars have autopilots, and they're designed to drive right to Dick Howser Stadium for sure.
We love to hear that. And Chase Pender drew a walk, so now Clemson with runners at first and second. Reed Rollman now at the plate, 1-1, and he's 2 for 2 on the afternoon with a single and a double.
Jason, I know you talked about his teammates, and JD, I know how appreciative you are these guys coming back because it is Easter weekend. These guys made a special trip, and thought it'd be just a little deal as a ground ball to Walls. There's tremendous. About over 75 people came back this weekend for you and your group from half of Howser's here, I think. Howser, Georgia.
Yeah, I brought a lot of friends and family, church members, and it is Easter weekend, and that kind of led into part of what I wanted to say out there. I was playing for this team and a devout Christian, and we started Bible studies here in Tallahassee along with Clint Purvis and a great friend, and so we just these memories and relationships, and it all boils down to we're getting old, we have family, and we're having a lot of fun, and it sure is great to reflect back on some of the memories that we've created.
And certainly a lot of memories from the time that you were here, from 95 to 97, 2 College World Series appearances, obviously winning the ACC championship twice. Just take us, go through those first 2 years where the Seminoles were able to go to the College World Series and being able to play on that stage as a college player. I went in there my freshman year. We were the highlight game of the week, starting the thing off. We got Jonathan Johnson versus Mark Redmond. I'm a left-handed hitting freshman going against the number 1 drafted left-handed pitcher in the country, and got a base hit up my first at-bat, drew a walk. Ended up going 3 for 3 and game-winning home run. It kind of set my stage and put myself on the map, then going to hit 3 home runs against USC. That ground ball to Busby, that'll score a run, but nice job of collecting the ground ball, throwing over to Mendoza for out number 2, but credit Davidson with an RBI, his second of the game. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, no problem. That was the culmination of my freshman year, which led into my sophomore campaign and then eventually my junior campaign. Unfortunately, not able to capitalize my junior year, but what a great year it was.
And here you see Davidson hitting a hard ground ball to Busby, and Busby doing a nice job just staying with that ball, looking the runner back at second and throwing over for the second out. So now Chris Williams steps in. He's 1 for 1, 2 RBI with a RBI double and a sac fly. And so JD, after a 14-year major league career, have you had time to really reflect on it all?
Yeah, people say, "Oh, it hadn't hit me yet," but it hit me a long time ago. I've been out now for 6 years and enjoy my family and raising my kids and coming back to college programs and talking to Chip on the phone and texting guys and just keeping up with what's going on here in Tallahassee and just watching my kids growing. And my son's now 11 and he's starting to kind of figure out, hey man, Dad might not have been too bad. I didn't really know he was even a ball player, kind of deal. And so, to come back and let them go on the field, it certainly lights a fire under them to give them the emotion that, man, all these pictures hanging on the wall in our house are my dad, and this is what he did. So it's really cool to come back, and it is really cool to reflect on. I think Chip, I talked to Coach Martin maybe a month ago when they told me they were going to retire my number, and it gave me time to really reflect on what I wanted to say and how I wanted to thank the fans and my teammates and my coaches, and so it's been a lot of fun to reflect on that.
That ball, ground ball to Busby, hit sharply but gloved nicely by Busby and throws over for out number 3. So Clemson gets 1 run on a ground out to increase their lead to 9-0. We'll be right back with JD Drew. Stick around here for the bottom half. Fantastic.
Never been a greater honor of the retiring of my number 39 here at Florida State University. I'm thankful that God created Seminole fans. And each and every minute of those 3 years that I played for you, thank you. Go Noles.
And so, JD, as we take a look there, is your speech prior to the start of the game and the unveiling of the numbers. Obviously, we talked about it, but you also touched on the Seminole fans and Seminole Nation and just, how important they are. And I'll tell you, when it comes postseason time or any time at all, these fans make a huge impression on the opposing team. And just take us through when you were back here and what the fan base meant to you.
It was one of the great memories of playing here was playing in front of these fans. I mean, it was so electric on some nights, and I can't imagine. I played in a lot of big league ballparks and some minor league ballparks, but it's when you have that kind of pressure raining down on you as an opposing team, it adds a lot of confidence to the home team, but the opposing team. I'll never forget there was a night that a Florida batter slung the bat, come up here and hit the dugout, and for the rest of the couple games that they literally chanted, "Throw the bat, don't throw the bat." The animal started it, and it took over the whole stadium. And I'll never forget standing in the center field thinking, man, I'm glad I'm a Seminole and I'm not this Gator right here, because I could not deal with that.
Well, I told a story. It gets by there. Good.
So Red Applin will be the first
left field
Seminole battle.
Always told a story, and it's a true story. When you came up the bat, and I know you're focused on the pitcher, and big crowd in the ballpark, and everybody, when you come up the bat, it would get quiet. I'm talking about you can still hear the cheers, but people would stop talking, the everyday conversations, just to sit there and watch you swing the bat. And I think I've only noticed that twice since I've been here in 30-plus years, you and some kid named Posey. So it worked out pretty good for him, too. So
no doubt. Well, that's the knowledge of the baseball fans in Seminole country here at Dick Howser Stadium. They really know the game. The animals have created the atmosphere that has lived on and the tradition that is carried. And I think it's infectious as other people come in and maybe have never been a part of this. I know my kids come, and when we leave, they're like, man, there's a lot of fun. Big league ballparks aren't like that. And I'm like, yeah, it feels like home,
And having been a part of this program for quite a few years, I would see pitchers come in here and just be shell-shocked by what the fans and just the atmosphere itself. So it was always neat to –
Listen, you're talking about an 18, 19, 20-year-old guy on the mound, and these guys are just all over them. And it's not in a badgering way. It's just in good fun, and that's what I've always really enjoyed about the fans of Tallahassee. It gets pretty edgy when you get to the big league level, but at the college level, they keep it clean, but they're intense, and they support their team, and the fans are behind them, so it's great.
Yep. Ball flied out to center field by Flowers, so out number 1.
Big thing with Charlie Barnes, he's doing a great job. He doesn't try to overthrow in the situation. 9-run lead. He throws the ball in there and lets his defense go to work. Good job on the 2-1 count.
So, JD, you got to tell us what's the best Chip story you got from when you were playing here?
Man, I don't know. Me and Chip share so many stories. He's putting light switches in my locker. He's telling me he's shooting the doves that's coming in the field off from one foul line to the other before the dove. Chip, I'm standing at third base in the middle of the game. I already got that one. You know, I mean, we've got stories that go way back, and certainly as you come in as a freshman, you have to get to know your coaches and you build relationships with them. And Chip's always been so good about staying in touch with all the former players and keeping everybody united. And he's a big part of the reason today went as well as it did.
And Matt Henderson reaches with a hit by pitch, so now 2 on and 1 out. That'll bring the top of the order back to the Seminoles.
You mentioned, JD, about this crowd. Again, Florida State's down 9-0 early, and this crowd came out here to watch the retirement of the jersey, but they also are cheering on their Seminoles, and they're trying to get something going here in the 3rd inning.
Listen, if I could step back out there right now, I'd put the jersey on and do it.
There's plenty of yellow ones floating around. We might go ahead and put one on there and see.
I would be ready.
That ground ball will find the hole, but on the left side. So now Seminoles got something going here in the bottom of the 3rd. Bases loaded now with Taylor Wall singles. Bringing up the top of the order, Busby now will head to the plate.
You feel a South Georgia boy right there with Walls getting that single to the left side.
Something in the water in South Georgia, Chip. I'm looking at that circus tent out there, and it looks awfully appealing. A little bigger than when I played here.
Bigger target.
Man, that'd be great. I'd love to do it.
Although you had to contend with the trees back then, didn't you? Like all those trees.
Yeah, they had trees across the top. There was
a
a bunch of big pine trees in the parking lot where the cars are parked beyond the right field wall. But there's something about aiming at that circus tent that's just kind of a coveted bullseye, you know.
It certainly stands out a lot more than it did then,
Absolutely.
as it does now.
Everybody talked about the long home runs to right field, but I remember the shots to left field. If you could take the pitch, again, the College World Series, drove the ball to left field for the game winner. I remember a handful of those, if not 2 handfuls.
Yeah, it's difficult to get the ball elevated into left field, but probably one of the most memorable home runs I hit here is, you know, the scoreboard is more elevated than it was now, but we need to they needed to elevate it, and I hit a home run over the scoreboard from the left side, which was one of my big home runs that I remember.
Sure. And, of course, now the scoreboard's a much bigger target, too.
Yeah, well, true, absolutely.
And Busby swinging a miss on that first.
It shows a young man that played on the biggest stage, the World Series. He's got playoff home runs, all-star game home runs, and he talks about home runs he hit at Florida State.
Yeah.
So that shows you how much the college years are so impressionable on a young ball player.
So, JD, you know, obviously a Hall of Fame inductee here at Florida State, but last year got inducted into the College Baseball Hall of Fame. You know, obviously, as we mentioned, Jenna Howser, who's a big proponent of the Hall of Fame, and obviously it was a huge honor in terms of you being inducted into that. But just take us through that.
Yeah, I don't want to downplay that at all. It is a huge honor. It's a huge honor for me and the university. I was able to bring my kids along for that, and that's why I kind of share those accolades on the field. Is I received several accolades and awards throughout my career, but today was kind of the culmination of my baseball career, and I take the most pride in that number out there in the left center field gap, and knowing that the teammates that I played with, the coaching staff, the fans were all a part of it. And I'm a small town South Georgia boy that wanted to be a Seminole, wanted to play on the gridiron, change that dream to the baseball diamond. And God's providential hand and unfolding everything in a camp in '93 opened the door and led to 3 of the most memorable and greatest years of my career.
You had some of those teammates on the field with you. Chris Chavez, I know, came to the same week of camp you did.
Chris was my
Pretty
roommate
good ball
my
players out
freshman
there.
year. Yeah, absolutely. We knew each other from a Dole baseball camp and then baseball camp here in Tallahassee.
That ball hit out to right center field. See if it's deep enough, and it is deep enough to tag and score Red Applin. So the Noles get on the board here with a run on the sac fly by Busby. You see Busby gets enough on that swing to get it out to right center. Beer there for the catch. Certainly not in time to get Red Applin. So the Noles, at this point, 1 run at a time, and so get 1 back here. So now it's 9-1 in favor of Clemson. And now Jackson Luke steps into the plate. So over 14 years in the major leagues, win a World Series, named to your All-Star game there in the last game that was played at, well, not the last game, but in the last season of Yankee Stadium. On top of that, being named the MVP that year. I was actually on hand for that game, which was pretty cool.
Right.
But just, obviously, being part of that World Series team had to be pretty exciting, too.
I got great memories in Major League Baseball, and this was the prep school for that. I did not know how to play the game of baseball until I came to Florida State. I was as raw a talent that was out there, and from cutoff and relays for an hour and a half a day and base running for an hour a day and hitting in the cages. I was taught to play the game, and that led to my big league career and having some success at that level as well.
Of course, the Seminoles have done a nice job over the years of producing major league talent, and obviously with 5 and now Kevin Cash being the manager of the Rays. So it's always good and exciting to see former Noles playing in the majors.
Absolutely.
Charlie Barnes now 1-2 ahead of Luke, and that ball misses outside now 2-2. Noles looking to continue to cut the deficit here, already with 1 run here in the third.
Jackson Luke's had a tough week. We talked about he came down with shingles last week, JD, and again he probably didn't take him batting practice, I believe, until Thursday or so this week.
So it goes and chases there for strike 3. So the Noles get 1 back. So after 3 complete, Clemson leads, 9-1. JD, thank you so much for joining us. We certainly appreciate it. Congratulations again,
Thank you.
And welcome back to Tallahassee here. Clemson leading the Noles 9-1 as we head to the 4th. And Chip, always nice to visit back with players from the past, and especially here with J.D. Drew.
I tell you what, he's one of my all-time favorites. Again, being around his teammates today, and this guy's 20 years ago, and these guys walk in like they haven't left. And they walk in and they're picking on each other, ragging, and it's fun. It was fun to have their families around. That was the biggest thing, having their families around, and it was just a great day for Florida State.
So we'll get back to that. With a 4.91 ERA. It's compiled 7 1/3 innings, giving up 4 runs on 7 hits, 5 walks and 11 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .280 against the freshman southpaw. So right now the Noles facing an 8-run deficit and able to get a run across in the 3rd to cut into that Clemson lead. Once again, as we mentioned, runs are certainly hard to come by for any opponent facing the Clemson Tigers this year, as not only have their starters done a fantastic job, but also they've had a solid bullpen. And Seth Beard steps in. You talk about the teammate aspect, and especially important in times that the Noles are facing now. Certainly where they are at in the season at 21-14 is having a solid nucleus and having guys that you can rely on to bring you up and get you going and everything else. That's, you talk about that JD had with Jeremy Morse and Chris Chavez and all the players that came back today to honor him, it's always neat to see. And that ball hammered by Beer, and I don't think that ball is coming back. Home run for Seth Beer. Takes the 1-0 pitch from Grant Stewart and deposits it out over the fence in right center, and now the Clemson Tigers lead 10-1.
Home run number 10 of the season for
Beer just set on that fastball, and he just got it, and he got all of it. Looked like a J.D. Drew shot deep to right center field.
And he knew right off the bat that ball had no chance of coming back. So that's the 10th home run now for Beer. His team leading 10th home run, so now it gives the Tigers a 10-1 lead. And after 2 pitches, Coach Martin will go visit Grant Stewart. I'm not sure if there's anyone in the bullpen, but it might be a quick visit just to settle down the freshman southpaw.
We missed with the first pitch. Coach Martin's, I'm sure, saying you can't come back and lay the next one in there. That's what he's looking for. You got to hit spots. If he hits your spots, he hits it, tip your cap to him. He's a great ball player, a great hitter.
And going back to J.D. Drew, obviously, Chip, read something in the local paper today just about what a quiet and reserved guy J.D. Drew is, and you very humble, and certainly not a guy who likes to talk about himself or the accolades that he has produced, not only from the college career but also in his major league career. And you can certainly sense that here as we were talking to him in the booth. Certainly it was more about the team aspect, more about his teammates than he was himself.
Again, I had the opportunity to be 90 feet away from greatness, and that was, again, it was a year that she didn't want it to end. 1997 was one of the best ball clubs ever. Don't forget, Jeremy Morris batted behind J.D. Drew. Jeremy Morris set the NCAA record for doubles in one season. He also had 25 home runs. J.D. Drew was the player. Jeremy Morris was the man. It was his ball club.
And scared to think that, obviously, the year that J.D. Drew had that year, he wins the Golden Spikes, that they had 2. Jeremy Morris's name had to been thrown in that mix as well.
Yes.
So 2-0 pitch to Andrew Cox is in there for a called strike. So now 2-1.
I'm sure in the future there's going to be some more jerseys retired. He played at Florida State. Just happened to have a good start here with J.D. Drew. Maybe something happens on a yearly, every other year or so. There's tremendous guys there that played in this program, and they're going to be honored for it.
And it's always tough, too, because you always want to recognize the player once their career has come to a close and give them some time to settle back into, if you will, a normal life with their family. And so, luckily at Florida State, there's, as you mentioned, ground ball back to Cox. Stewart handles nicely, flips over to Mendoza for out number 1. But, it gives them the case to settle in and, get acclimated and whatnot. And here we take a look at the replay on that ball. Nice job by Stewart defending his position and flipping on for the first out. So now steps in is the designated hitter, and Robert Jolly. It's 1 for 2 with a RBI double in the second.
I had the opportunity to coach J.D. Drew. 30 home runs, 30-plus stolen bases. First, the only guy in college baseball ever to do that. I mean, and nobody's done it before or since, and it's amazing. I coached a kid at Virginia Tech, 1982, named Franklin Stubbs. Stole 34 out of 35 bases, hit 29 home runs. He hit a home run in the 3rd inning of a game in March. Ended up getting snowed out. So the score didn't count because we were snowed out in the 4th inning, so none of the stats counted. I've been around both guys.
Wow.
Opportunity. Be around both guys that hit it, but, again, the game was snowed out. Didn't count.
That certainly happens probably quite a few times there in good old Blacksburg. Seminoles took a trip up there earlier this year and certainly did not get the outcomes they wanted, dropping the series to the Hokies, and certainly a ball field that is high on octane in terms of the offensive production that is produced there. That last pitch fouled off by Jolly, so now 2-2 to the Clemson designated hitter. Ball once again bounded up the middle. Stewart does a nice job snagging that ball. Flip over to Mendoza for out number 2.
Florida State with 3 days off this week, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm sure Mike Bell had a little pitcher's fielding practice. Has paid off here for Grant Stewart. A couple comebackers this inning.
Second baseman, number 9.
Put that glove out there, got a chance.
And so that'll bring up the Clemson second baseman and Jordan Green. 0 for 2 on the afternoon, and made 2 of the 3 outs there in the second. He grounded out for out number 2 and then struck out looking in the third. The ball fouled off, so now evens the count at 1-1. Tigers with a run here in the fourth, increasing their lead back out to 9. And Chip, you've been swing and a miss there. So after giving up the home run, Stewart looking to get out of the inning and holding the Tigers to just the 1 run. And a swing and a miss, so strike 3. So nice bounce back by Grant Stewart after the Seth Beer monster shot to right center field, his team-leading 10th home run of the season, to give the Tigers a 10-1 lead. And we go to the bottom of the fourth here in Tallahassee. Knowles trailing the Clemson Tigers 10-1. Game 1 of a 3-game series here in pivotal ACC Atlantic Division series featuring the Clemson Tigers, who are riding atop the division, and the Seminoles looking to gain ground, sitting at 7-8 in the middle of the pack. Taking a look once again at the right field bleachers there, fans in attendance. Once again, another great crowd. Certainly all ages, and the youngsters certainly finding a groove out there in the bleacher seats. So it's good to see people having a good time here at the ballpark. And taking a look here at Charlie Barnes, who has certainly settled in nicely through the first 3 innings. Although the Seminoles were able to play to run in the third, and he'll look to keep the Clemson Tigers rolling here. They lead 10-1. He'll face Quincy Deporte. Grounded out to short in the second. Takes a first pitch. Called strike. Quincy having a nice season, hitting .294 with 6 home runs and 41 RBI. Tie for the team lead in home runs and leads the team with 41 RBI.
Tell you what, you get up there in the Port again, you're sitting there, you're down 9 runs, and you get up and you look at that infield, how third base, he's not even in the picture here. Grayson Bird's playing back on the outfield grass. Again, a lot more room to field the ball.
And that ball hit out to right center, but Beer is there for the catch. Deporte gets a good swing on that pitch, but in the vicinity of Beer, who makes a nice catch in front of the warning track for out number 1. When you're Monty Lee here, Chip, you got a 9-run lead. That's exactly what you want from Charlie Barnes, is to put it over the plate and make the Seminoles hit it and get them to chip away at this lead.
Raleigh was just overmatched with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. His last at-bat, ran it on his hands, popped it up the third.
ahead early here, 2-0. Charlie Barnes ready to go. He gets the ball back and is ready to pitch. So Cal steps out of the plate, tries to break up that rhythm and momentum. Misses high, so now 3-0. The sophomore catcher. And Charlie is not wasting any time. He gets that ball back and he's ready to go. Misses low there, so 4-pitch walk to Cal Raleigh. It's the first walk issued by a pitcher who doesn't walk very many batters, and that's just his 11th walk of the year.
A rare 3-0 count. As you mentioned, he works quick, about 10-12 seconds between pitches. Your defense has to love that.
So now Drew Mendoza steps in, 0 for 1. Grounded out to second. And so now 5 in a row, missed by Charlie Barnes. Mendoza making his 10th start of the season after missing the first half of the season with an injury. He's getting his 7th start at first base tonight. Takes a look at a called strike there on the outer part of the plate. So now 1-1 the count. Foul tip there at the plate. So now 1-2. After getting off to a slow start when he made his debut against North Carolina 2 weeks ago. Seemed to find a nice hitting rhythm now at the plate. He's hitting .303. The home run and 10 RBI. Fouls that one out of play, so stays alive, and now count remains 1-2.
Looking down at the lineup card here, and team players have played in 35 or so ball games and 34 games. And Mendoza, this is only his 10th start.
That ball is fouled off. Hits off Mendoza while he's in the box, so count remains 1-2.
Last Friday at NC State, he hit his first at bat. He drove a ball one off the wall and hit off the wall in left field. Then he had a 2 RBI single up the middle. Then he ended later in the ball game, hit a double down the right field line. He's got that type of power, that type of swing, and that type of talent.
And in the last 4 games, he's got 7 RBI and 4 doubles. So certainly a bat that the Seminoles could use here, not only today, but down the stretch here if the Seminoles are looking to make any run and move up the ACC standings here. Two. Fouled off again. That ball is lifted out to short left center. Outfield playing deep, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. That ball in on the hands of Mendoza a little bit.
Got a potential, a little bit of power to run that ball up and in. Fastball, and he got a good piece of it. Well, not get a good piece, got a piece of it and dropped out there in no man's land. The old Texas leaguer. Base hit.
You mentioned earlier the infield was playing so back. The outfield was playing tremendously far back, close to the warning track. And so obviously with that type of play, able to drop in for a base hit for Mendoza. So now 2 on and 1 out for Red Applin. Red Applin enters the game.
Clemson has a lot larger ball field as far as the outfield Florida State does. Plus the hill as you run up, and their outfielders have a tendency to play deeper, and you can see the wear spots.
That ball lifted out to left center field. Rollman there for the catch and out number 2. That ball up in the zone a little bit. Applin goes after it, but lofts it out to left center, and Rollman there for out number 2.
Credit Charlie Barnes for doing the job. He got a couple guys on and still attacking the zone and getting the ball. Couple fly balls. One fell in there on Mendoza, but that last pitch, just got up on the Applin and drove to left field for the out.
So steps in freshman center fielder J.C. Flowers. Flew out to center field, his first at-bat. So the Noles looking to cut the deficit here. Looking for a little 2-out magic of their own. As Clemson scored all 7 runs in the second on 2 outs. Including 6 hits that were RBI doubles. So the Noles looking to start the trend here with 2 on. Flowers ahead of the count, 2-0. Barnes misses high, so now 3-0 to the freshman center fielder. He's putting together a nice season in his first campaign with the Noles. He's made every start for the Noles so far. One of 2 players to do that, he and Cal Raleigh. So now Barnes pounds the strike zone with a strike, so now 3-1. Now we'll miss low, so the bases will be loaded for Matt Henderson.
Cannot tie it up with one swing of the bat, but a base hit right here would be good for Florida State's morale. Get something going, and never knows.
And right now that's all they need. They need to piece it bit by bit right now. Down 9 here in the bottom of the 4th. Matt Henderson was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. So the first offering to Henderson misses high, so 1-0. Get the chance from the Animals and the crowd here, trying to get the Noles going here offensively. Of course, you hear the quack of the duck there. That'll miss inside, so now 2-0 with the bases loaded. So this will create another mound visit. Andrew C., the pitching coach, in his second season. Previously at Duke before joining Monty Lee's staff last year. He'll go out there and talk to Charlie Barnes. So we mentioned early on in the beginning that the Noles have played 19 different lineups so far through 35 games. This was the lineup that they envisioned at the start of the season before they suffered all these injuries, that this was going to be their starting outfield, starting infield. This is just the 3rd time that they've had this lineup all season. 2-0 with it, with both those starts coming against Florida Gulf Coast. Ball inside, but catches the inside part of the plate, so now 2-1. That's something that the Seminoles have been certainly trying to work around with all the injuries and everything else. Certainly not trying to make any excuses for where the team is at now, but
you probably have Jackson Luke, I don't believe, in left field for Florida State. He's not 100%. Busby at third base for Florida State is coming off a sore back, sore shoulder, and you got Mendoza just starting to get into it. So it may take a week or so against this tough competition.
So that's in there for a strike. So now 3-2 full count to Henderson with the bases loaded.
Florida State with his 3-game set with Clemson. In a midweek game with Stetson, then head to Miami to play the Hurricanes next weekend.
3-2 offering from Barnes. Runners will be going. That ball is hammered out to left field. Roman chasing it and can't get it as he bounds off the wall with a light leaping attempt. 3 runs will score. A bases clearing double for Matt Henderson. Gets the Noles slowly getting back into this with 3 runs here in the 4th. Take a look here at that hit by Henderson.
Great at bat, 3-2 runners are going. That's about all he has, and he got all of it.
Nice
Tremendous
diving.
effort. Everybody running. Henderson pulls up there, but 3 RBIs. Something to get Florida State on the map here with a quicker number in the 4th inning.
Just the 2nd extra base hit of the season for Matt Henderson, and a nice time for that as that plates 3, cutting the Clemson lead now to 10-4, and that back to the top of the order. And Taylor Walls is 1 for 2, singled in his last at bat. First pitch swinging there, swings over the top of the breaking pitch. So Barnes ahead of the count.
Came back after giving up the double to left field through that first pitch changeup off speed. The ball bottom just fell out. Had Walls swinging first pitch.
That ball is lifted foul and out of play. So now Walls behind 0-2.
Jason's big right here, but again, Florida State putting just something on the board against Clemson here. Maybe make the bullpen work. Maybe make a decision. Again, it's only the 4th inning. A lot of at bats left.
Body starting to stand up and stretch there in the Clemson bullpen. And Chase Henderson back to 2nd.
Put that 10 runs on the board. Florida State down 6. Again, there's a big hole dug. You got to get out of it.
It's actually the most runs given up by Charlie Barnes this year. He's only given up 3 or more runs once. That ball will miss on the outside, and that came against Georgia Tech when he gave up just 3 runs in a win against the Yellow Jackets. As I mentioned earlier, his 2nd start against the Seminoles. That ball on the inside part of the plate, called strike 3. So that'll be it for the Seminoles, but a big hit. Bases clearing double for Matt Henderson. Cuts the deficit to 10-4 with 4 in the books. And welcome back to Tallahassee. Take a look at the view there from behind home plate. Noles trailing 10-4 here as we head to the top of the 5th. Once again, a lot of young fans grooving out to the music here in the stadium. Of course, another good crowd here on hand. Grant Stewart out for his 2nd inning of work, and he'll face off against Grayson Bird. It's 1 for 1. Watkins scored in the 2nd. Actually was the catalyst for that 7-run 2nd inning after Cole Sands had gotten 2 quick outs. Bird fell behind 1-2 and then drew a walk, and that ball will be ripped back up the middle off the mound and into the outfield there in center field. So base hit for Bird, so he continues to get on and cause problems for the Seminole pitchers.
Oh, hit well off the mound, skipped the right all the way to the outfield. Nice job by the guy batting 9th in the order. Turns it back over to Pender at the top.
Pender's had a nice evening so far. It's reached base on all 3 plate appearances. Single in the 1st, double in the 2nd, walked in the 2nd. Walked in the 3rd. That ball will clip him, and so he'll be awarded first base. So after cutting the deficit to 10-4, last thing you wanted to see from your pitcher is to give up a single and a walk. And Grant Stewart finds himself in a bit of trouble here, and see the ball bounce off of Pender. So now he's reached base on all 4 of his plate appearances.
We threw a breaking ball just off his foot there, but still hits the dirt, hits the grass, still hits the batter. You still get the base.
So Monty Lee coming out to speak to Frank Sylvester. Not sure if he's making a change here or take a look at Chase Haney warming up in the bullpen. And I think what Monty Lee was coming out to discuss with Frank Sylvester was that Reed Rollman was a little tardy getting out from being checked out by the training staff there after his diving attempt on Matt Henderson's double. Seemed to crash into the wall, so
warning track is crushed. Crimson stone is a stone, but it's small particles. I'm sure it might have scratched him up a little bit.
Take a look at Reed Rollman there, 2 for 3 single. Had an RBI double in the second. Grounded out in the third. Turn to bunt here, and he'll drop one down, but it'll be popped up, and it'll be doubled up there at second base. Nice job by Dylan Busby. Reed Rollman unable to get the sac bunt down, pops it up. Busby charging and does a nice job of throwing over.
Always go back. Nothing good happens when you pop up a bunt. This is what happens. Great job by Busby getting turned as he filled the ball and got the out at second.
Nice job by Taylor Walls covering there to double up Bird in second. So now 2 quickly down and brings up Logan Davidson.
Busby did a great job of getting his feet open as he filled it, caught the ball, and there was not a whole lot of extra movement. Just snap it like he'd turn in a double play, and he did. He turned it.
So
big momentum shift here for Florida State with 2 outs.
We'll see if Stewart can take advantage of that momentum swing now with Davidson at the bat. 1 for 3 on the afternoon, a pair of RBIs. Doubled in the second. As we had mentioned, after getting 3 runs there in the fourth to cut the deficit, wasn't the best start for Stewart after he gave up a single and then a hit by pitch, but certainly an opportune double play on what looked like a sacrifice bunt attempt by Rollman, but couldn't get it down and popped it up. So now 1-0. Misses high, so 2-0 now to Davidson. Chase Haney still up and throwing in the bullpen. Now it also looks like Jim Voiles has joined him now. Throw over to first, chases Pinder back. Pinder 6 for 8 on the season in stolen bases. A breaking pitch over for a called strike. So 2-1 to the freshman shortstop.
Dad played at Clemson years back. Good-looking ball player right here. Long and lanky. He's going to put on some weight, but I tell you what, he can play.
Monty Lee had high praises for him.
Took a peek of Clemson practicing here last evening, and I watched that young man out there. But a buddy of mine called me up and told me about him. I said, you got to go look at this kid. He made some errors early in the year, but he can play.
Monty Lee said he was a bit of a late bloomer in high school and has really developed here. Ball outside, but throw down on Pinder stealing. He'll get the stolen base, and he'll move to third on the errant throw there. So now Pinder 90 feet.
Stolen base at second, E2 throw.
So we'll take a look here. Ball on the outside part of the plate on a breaking pitch.
Ball just, Raleigh did not get on top of it. And you saw the ball just sail toward right center, and that's what happened. You don't get on top of it. Clemson running here in the fifth. Again, Florida State scoring 3 runs the last inning. Open the game back up, only up 6. So why not? If you can do it, why not do it?
So that breaking pitch will miss high. So credit Davidson with a walk. The second time he has reached this evening. So now runners at the corners and 2 outs for the right hitting catcher and Chris Williams. Williams 1 for 2 on the evening with a double and 2 RBI. And we will get a pitching change here as Coach Martin goes to the mound. Quick to make the call. And we'll tell you who that new pitcher is when we come back. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Clemson looking to add more.
27 pitches, 15 for.
And welcome back. New pitcher for the Seminoles, their 4th of the evening. We're taking a look at Will Zierzow, redshirt junior right-hander from Fleming Island, Florida, 6'5", 220 pounds. Zierzow making his 15th appearance of the season, 14th in relief. He's worked 26 innings, has given up 10 earned runs, 20 hits, walked 11, and struck out 34 opponents, hitting .208 on the right-hander this year.
Been involved in some games since he's been at Florida State where he's come in a situation you're behind. And again, going back to look at Miami 2 years ago, and came in the 8th or 7th or 8th inning maybe. Florida State was behind, tied it up, and he hung on through about 6 innings. Florida State came out and won it late in extras.
And as you said, he's a pitcher who's been thrust in those types of roles and has actually performed very well in times like this. So comes into a situation here with runners at the corners and 2 outs and trying to keep the Clemson Tigers at 10 runs. And he'll face, once again, the junior catcher and Chris Williams. Williams, as I had mentioned prior to the break, or pitching change, 1 for 2 with 2 RBI. So the first pitch from Zierzau will miss.
He works with a slider, also has a good cutter. Really works on getting on top of the ball.
That breaking pitch will miss high, so now 2-0 to Williams. Williams missed the first 7 games due to an injury. Certainly has found his offensive rhythm as of late. 8 home runs, all 8 home runs in the last 19 games. .2-0 pitch, rocket foul. Watch out, crowd there.
Don't hear that.
Luckily, that stayed in.
Yeah.
I should say not crowd, but look out, Clemson dugout. It's the danger there of those camera wells as you're looking in your camera. Sometimes you might be encountered with a nice surprise. I shouldn't say nice surprise, but a rocket shot like that. So now 2-1. That ball misses high, so now 3-1 to Williams.
Having trouble getting on top of the ball. Ball's just getting away from him. He's missing up.
So in instances like this, you might want to just be careful with Williams, but then you got Seth Beer waiting. That breaking pitch will miss low, so a walk to Williams loads the bases for Seth Beer, and Seth Beer, his last time out, his last at bat, certainly had a no-doubter that went over the fence in right center for his team-leading 10th home run of the season. So certainly take a look at the last at-bat by Beer.
1-0 count, got the fastball down and in, and there's not a left-hander alive doesn't like to swing at a pitch like that. Watch out in the street.
Crushed that ball for a home run, like I said, in the 4th, which at the time gave the Tigers a 10-1 lead. But now steps in against Zierzau. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and the Tigers leading 10-4. Beer looking to increase the Tiger lead. First pitch called strike. Zierzau starts Beer off with a breaking pitch. And that'll miss outside. So now 1-1 to Beer. As I mentioned, Beer has done a tremendous job since beginning his collegiate career. He's played 97 total games and has been on base in 93 of his last 95.
Young man skipped his senior year in high school. Went to college early. He made the best of it. Had a great year last year.
That ball is tapped in front of the mound. Zierzau gets over and makes a nice play to get Beer. So nice play by Zierzau. Tigers leave the bases loaded. First inning in which they haven't played it a run, so we move into the bottom of the fifth. Clemson still leads 10-4. And welcome back. We go to the bottom of the fifth here, sun setting with that outfield shot as you see. Charlie Barnes out to work the bottom of the fifth with the Tigers leading 10-4. Barnes will face 2, 3, 4 in the Seminole lineup. So he'll face Busby, Luke, and Naporti. Take a look at the Seminole dugout there with Coach Martin and Coach Bell talking to Will Zierzow, who got the Seminoles out of a big jam there, inherited a pair of runners, and after issuing a walk, got a ground ball out by Seth Beer and a ball that was a tough play with Cal Raleigh slipping to try and make the play. Zierzow did a nice job of getting to that ground ball out in front of the dirt there at home plate and made it a strong throw over to Mendoza to get the out and to keep the Seminole deficit at 6 runs. So Busby steps in. It's credited with giving the Seminoles their first run of the game on a sac fly in the third. 0 for 1 on the evening. Busby puts down a bunt. Barnes over on it, not in time to get Busby. So nice start by the Seminoles and a nice bunt by Busby.
Looking around, see what the defense is playing you. 6-run ball game. He outran that one. Wasn't a great placement. Got it in a good angle. Made the left-hander come to get it, which he had to spin all the way around to make the throw. Busby just outran that play just by a hair.
And he did just get it by a hair, so nice start for the Seminoles and a bunt single by Busby. And that's what Busby can do for you here. Guy that certainly can have the home run threat. And that ball lifted out to right field by Jackson Luke. Going back. Home run! A 2-run shot by Jackson Luke. First pitch swinging and a no-doubter on that one. Home run for Jackson Luke, and this cuts the lead to 10-6.
Again, what a tough week this young man has had since last week. We talked about came down with his shingles, and again his torso's all ripped up. But I tell you what, he ripped that one right there all the way to right. Great job. Switch hitter. Drove it to right.
Was inspired by J.D. Drew going opposite field on that one.
He has a similar swing, just a short, quick stroke. And he is strong. That's the biggest thing about Jackson Luke. He's a strong young man.
That's his 3rd home run. So now the Noles down 4 here in the 5th, continuing to chip away at the lead. Quincy Naporti steps in now, looks at ball 1. You look at the outings for Charlie Barnes, and as I mentioned, these are the most runs that he's given up this year. Last time he gave up 6 or more runs, you have to go back to April 2nd of 2016 in a start against Pittsburgh when he gave up 7 runs in 4 innings of work in a loss to the Panthers. That ball fouled off, so now 1-2 to Naporti.
Porty last at bat, drove the ball to right field for the out, and they're working him away as he tried to take the ball outside.
That ball is crushed to left center field. But Pinder is there to cover some ground and get the out for out number 1. Ball was hit hard. Sounded good off the bat, but Pinder did a nice job of tracking that ball down for the out. So now Cal Raleigh steps in. to face Charlie Barnes. Raleigh 0 for 1. Watkins scored in the fourth. That ball to the gap in left center. No one's going to get off. No one's going to get to that one as it bounces off the wall. Pinder does a nice job of getting that ball in, but Raleigh slides in for a double. So the Noles getting some good swings on Barnes here in the fifth, and the Tigers have the bullpen going.
Good at bat, good a swing as he's had all year. Hit that ball hard as it bounded off the wall. Good job by Pinder taking the Karam off the wall and making it. Could have been close at second. Still a game. Raleigh having fun.
Take a look at the Clemson bullpen. They've got a pair of arms loosening up. Drew Mendoza looking to keep things going here in the fifth. Runner at second in Raleigh. Mendoza 1 for 2. Dropped a single inside the left field foul line in the fourth. He came around to score on the bases clearing double by Matt Henderson. That ball is fouled off to the left. 1-1. So after Clemson scores runs in each of the first 4 innings, the Noles now have runs in the third, fourth, and fifth to cut the Clemson lead to 10-6. That ball grounded just inside the bag for Cox to scoop up and step on first. So now 2 down, but Raleigh moves to third on the play. It brings up the right fielder in Red Applin. And we've got the Noles cheers from the Mounties out here, Chip. Leading the charge on the Noles cheer.
Saturday night, he needs to show up, get Florida State going.
Of course, in the bottom of the fifth here in the Oak Canada inning. First pitch to Applin is called strike. Applin 1 for 2, singled through the left side in the third. Red Applin's been a nice addition to the Seminole Ball Club this year. Swing and a miss over top of that pitch. He's hitting .313 on the year with 6 home runs and 23 runs batted in. So now 0-2. Ball tries to get Applin to chase on the ball on the outside part of the plate and in the right-handed batter box, and Applin does not chase. Going to take a look at the Mountie hat by one of the Section B members. Trying to get this crowd going here. Get the Noles some more runs here in the fifth. Ball misses away outside. So 2-2 now. Barnes wipes, sets, pitch, swing and a miss. Nice job by Barnes to come back. Leaves Raleigh at third. But the Noles get a home run by Jackson Luke on an opposite field shot to cut the lead. After 5, it's 10-6. Clemson leading. Welcome back to the ACC Network Extra Baseball action here at Mike Martin Field inside Dick Howser Stadium, and a nice night for baseball in Tallahassee. Clemson leads the Noles 10-6, and once again, a good crowd on hand as we recognized J.D. Drew for a jersey retirement for the start of the game, and got off to a not so good start for the Seminoles as Clemson got out to a 10-1 lead, but the Noles have gotten back into this game with 3 runs in the fourth and 2 more in the fifth. And Will Zierza, who came in a tough situation in the fifth, comes back out to work the sixth, and he'll face off Andrew Cox to open the sixth. Cox 0 for 2. Watkins scored in the second. Cox takes a look at ball one there. Mentioned Zierzow and a little bit when he came in last inning and misses on the outside there, 2-0 now, but got his first career start against Florida Gulf Coast in a game that was shortened due to weather, in a game that the Noles won 3-2.
Be so big for Florida State again, scoring 5 unanswered runs in the 4th and 5th and held Clemson to the 0 spot in the 5th the last time around.
So action going in the Seminole bullpen, as it has been early and often in this game. And Cal Raleigh goes out to visit Zierzow. So we mentioned in the open ship, Clemson off to this 29-5 start, leading the ACC Atlantic coming into this weekend at 13-2. The Noles sitting at 21-14 and 7-8 in the ACC. But as we now are at the midway point in the ACC's league play, certainly enough time for the Noles to make up some ground and to still make a push. And that ball just out beyond the reach of Matt Henderson, and so Cox reaches with a single to open the 6th. Of course, people are...
So if that ball had so much juice on it, Henderson didn't get a glove. He went over. It looked like his glove went over that ball. Tough read. Sometimes that ball, you hit so hard and so well, it had a lot of sink on it. That ball might have had a little bite to it.
So that brings up the designated hitter, and Jolly. Jolly is 1 for 3 and connected on one of 6 RBI doubles in the 7th. In the second, in the 7-run second. As I mentioned, Chip, enough time for the Seminoles to get this thing back together, and as I say that, and a ball misses on the outside, and so Martin will go to the bullpen.
He just hasn't gotten over early in the counts, been behind. He got behind 1-0 in that last single, and again, 1-0 here.
And the Noles will make their 5th pitching change of the afternoon, and we'll tell you who it is when we come back. And welcome back, and we see the new Seminole pitcher, their 5th of the game, and Jim Voiles, senior right-hander out of Atlanta, Georgia, 6'7", 205-pounder. Jim is making his 17th relief appearance. It's 2-0 with a 3.33 ERA. He's worked 24 1/3 innings, giving up 9 earned runs, 26 hits, struck out 26 while walking 15. Opponents are hitting .268 against Voiles this year. So he'll face Jolly with a 1-0 count. As we mentioned, this is the halfway point of the season for both teams in conference play, and after this series, Clemson will host Wake Forest, who's having a nice season. It's currently 10-6 in league play. They have Notre Dame this weekend. And then they go to North Carolina. And they face Nevada at home in a non-conference series, and then finishes out the year at home against Louisville and then at NC State. Florida State, on the other hand, will go to Miami. Then we'll face Virginia. Swing and a miss for Jolly there on the first pitch from Voiles. Then we'll host Pacific in a non-conference matchup in early May. And we'll host Wake, and then at Louisville to close out the season.
Again, it's a tough road for Florida State. Facing those
that
tough
ball is
drilled
to right field. Will it stay fair? It does. It bounds off the top of the wall. Applin gets to the ball quickly and will hold the runner at third. So now runners at second and third as Jolly rips that double off the top of the wall there in right field.
Left-handers like that ball down and in. He took a great swing on a breaking pitch off that wall and right. Nobody out. You're not going to take a chance. Good job by Applin getting to carry him off the screen and getting him back in the infield.
So now the Tigers looking to add to their lead here in the sixth with 2 on and nobody out. The infield comes in. Knowles on any contact will more than likely be going to the plate if they are able to. With Green at the plate now. 0 for 3, pair of strikeouts and a ground out. And as you mentioned, Chip, we'll take a look at the infield here.
Again, Florida State's trying to hold Clemson from scoring. Infield in here with nobody out, trying to cut off that run, trying to keep you in the ball game.
1-0 pitch, swing and a miss by Green over the top of that breaking pitch. That swing, Green will step out and compose himself as he looks down at Greg Starbuck, third base coach for Clemson. As we mentioned, Chip, before that double by Jolly, but certainly enough time for the Noles to get back into this thing, especially with the teams they have left. That check swing, peel down to first, and no swing, says Brent Rice. Take a look at it.
Did a great job. It looked like the barrel was coming, but he kept his hands going forward and didn't let the barrel go forward with it.
So nice job by Green to hold up there. So now 2-1 as Voiles looks in. The outside, so now 3-1. He misses. So just look at the RPI, Chip. Clemson's at 4. Florida State's currently at 40. But Seminoles, you look at their non-conference RPI and strength of schedule, and it's 24 and 22. You say, can they make up grounds? Most definitely. They have Virginia, who's 7th in the RPI, Wake Forest, 11th, and then Louisville at number 5.
He said, after today, it'll be 14 games left in conference play. Florida State's got at least get 8 or 9 wins maybe in that. That's the biggest thing, is a tough row to hoe.
That breaking pitch in. 3-1 breaking ball by Voiles.
Again, I don't like to put a number on anything, but I think they need to play well and get going. Again, they got their lineup together tonight and maybe trying to get a little bit going here. And offensively, they've got some runs scored, but Clemson had that big second inning with 7 runs, kind of got them well ahead here.
Deflated the momentum most definitely,
Yes.
and so now the Clemson looking to add to that lead. Pitch by swing and a miss. Raleigh will throw down to get Green to complete the strikeout. So now 1 away. Runners stay put.
Good job of taking advantage and making him chase this pitch away and down. Raleigh attacking it, checking the runner at third. Getting the out at first.
And so that now brings up Grayson Bird, who's had a nice evening so far. Has reached base in all 3 plate appearances. It's 2 for 2 with a pair of singles and a walk. He's scored a run in the second. But then you also look at the new format of the ACC tournament this year, Chip, in that 12 teams make the tournament. There are now 4 pods with 3 teams in it, so every team is guaranteed at least 2 games. The winner of each pod will then play in the semifinals on Saturday, and then the final will be on Sunday. So a different format, including more teams. Each team is guaranteed 2 games, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, because in the old format where they had 2 pods of 4 teams, that ball grounded to second. Henderson will come home, and he'll get the sliding Cox. Nice play by Henderson to Raleigh to gun the runner down at home. So now 2 outs here in the 6th.
Young ball players, watch this play. As you see, Cox with the jumper at third, but good job by Raleigh getting the feet in position, making that tag. But Matt Henderson did a great job of getting his feet in position, He caught the ball and threw it. He didn't catch the ball, then moved his feet. He caught the ball with the full intention of making a good catch and getting a quick release to the plate, and that made it all the way. Great job by Florida State cutting down that run.
So now runners at the corners for Clemson and back to the top of the order. And Chase Pinder. Pinder has reached base on all 4 plate appearances tonight. Single in the first, double in the second, walk in the third, hit by pitch in the 5th. So that ball in the dirt will advance Bird to second. So now 2 runners in scoring position after that wild pitch.
I believe that's the 29th wild pitch this year. Florida State, and that's like 29 base hits. You allow a base runner to move up a base. Takes away your force. Several times that happens with 1 out. You take away your double play.
So Voyle still stares in at a 1-0 count. To Pinder. That ball in the dirt. Nice block by Raleigh. Keeps the runners where they're at. So now 2-0. To the Tiger leadoff batter.
And it talks about the level of play you have. And a lot of times you look at a stat sheet. Clemson has allowed or pitched 22 wild pitches. Their opponents have thrown 39 against them. Well, now it's 41 for Florida State.
That breaking pitch misses. So now 3-0 to Pinder.
And just looking at the difference, Florida State has thrown 29 wild pitches, and the opponents against Florida State have only thrown 22. So that's, again, Florida State's had played some good ball clubs, hadn't thrown many balls in the dirt. So that's it's an extra base. It's almost twice as many for Clemson.
A 3-0 pitch will miss. So now 4-pitch walk to Pinder loads the bases for Reed Rollman. So Pinder 5 for 5 in reaching base today. So Reed Rollman tried to lay down a sacrifice bunt in the 5th, popped out and led to a double play. So now here, Tigers threatening once again. Bases loaded in the 6th. Reed Rollman looking a little Jason Worth here. Long hair, full beard, mustache.
Got it, why not? Big at bat here at Florida State. Again, leadoff single, then a double, and it didn't score the run, get a strikeout, and the play at the plate. You got to close out the inning to keep yourself in a ball game. Here only down 4 runs, 10-6 in the 6th inning.
First pitch from Voiles, breaking ball in there for a called strike. And Chip, not to hang on Rollman's look here, but typically when you take your headshot's a lot different than how you look now. His headshot is the same on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
He's got the full long hair, beard, mustache. I mean, he's got it going. He's had this going on for a while now. That 0-1 pitch misses in the dirt. 1-1 now. Used to joke with Scott Seitz on that. He'd always be clean shaven for his headshot in the beginning of the season, and then he would go crazy with his mustache. And so what looked like he was 5 years old in his headshot didn't look like he was, an old man come late in the season when he's growing his mustache. Sorry, Scott, if you're listening.
Go back to J.D. Drew's freshman year, hit a home run at College World Series one day, hit 3 the next day. Somehow the seniors always shave the freshmen's heads at the World Series, and J.D. had a bald head hitting those home runs, so the hair doesn't matter.
Not at all. That ball on the inside, but grounded to Mendoza, who'll step on. So Jim Voiles gets out of it as Rollman grounds out to first. 5.5 done here, 10-6, Clemson leading.
As we come back to the ballpark here in the bottom of the 6th, Florida State held Clemson scoreless the last 2, but Clemson jumped up early. 10-6. It's pitching change coming as Jason Termy tells you about it.
As you take a look at the new Clemson pitcher on that number 19, and Brooks Crawford. Crawford, a sophomore right-hander from Bishop, Georgia, 6'5", 220-pounder. Crawford's making his 14th appearance and is one of those guys that we talked about earlier in which this bullpen has been stifling. It's been stifling lately. So 13 appearances, 4-0. He's got a 0.52 ERA. He's given up just 1 earned run in 17 in the third innings. Opponents hitting 200 against him. Struck out 17 and has only allowed 5 walks. Pretty impressive numbers from the sophomore right-hander.
Leading off the bottom of the sixth inning for the Seminoles, center fielder number 8, J.C. Flowers.
So an uphill battle for the Seminoles here as they trail by 4 in the bottom of the 6th. J.C. Flowers will lead things off. As I mentioned, it's against a Clemson bullpen that is 9-1 with a 2.30 ERA, and opponents hitting 200 against them in 2017. It's a huge reason why they're 29-5 right now. First pitch called strike to Flowers.
Monty Lee's not afraid to turn it over to the guys out there in left field. Again, comes in first pitch, hits with the strike.
Comes in with a breaking pitch there, 0-2. Flowers 0 for 1. Walk and scored in the 4th. That ball is just a bit outside, so now 1-2. That breaking pitch will miss. And the inside's now 2-2. He'll ask for a new ball. And Chip, you couldn't ask much more from what Flowers has provided the Seminoles so far this year. He's done a nice job in center field, taking over for Ben DeLuzio, and offensively he's done a nice job for the Seminoles too. That ball will go through the gap in left center, and it'll be a base hit. Davison tries to backhand that ball. It would have been a tough play to get the speedy Flowers, especially with how deep that ball was. But nice job by Flowers to lead things off with a single.
Showing he can be a tough out. He has several base hits. Maybe a couple handfuls possibly with 2 strikes. Oh, he's got a walk-off early in the year. Walk-off base hit, walk-off win. Battled foul balls off and got the base hit and they get there with 2 strikes. Brings up Henderson.
And Matt Henderson had the big hit in the 4th inning, had the bases clearing double. And this one will get through the right side. So now the Noles with something going. In the 6th, back-to-back base hits. With the Noles trailing 10-6, Matt Henderson having a nice evening here.
A lot of times you get a big hit, and he did, and he pulled this ball through the right side. Flowers jumps over it. Great camera work. Had thoughts of going to third, but realized there's nobody out, and it's a pretty good ball player out here in right field in Beer.
Well, and down 4 runs. Last thing you want to do is make the first out at third when you trail by 4. And so now Taylor Walls steps in, 1 for 3 on the afternoon, singled in the 3rd, struck out in the 1st and the 4th. So Crawford
looking at Beer in the right field. He has 5 assists for the year, and that's pretty good for college baseball when he played about 35 ball games.
That ball up the middle. Mike Martin Jr. race calls Flowers in, and he'll score. So 3 straight singles for the Seminoles. Taylor Walls drives in Flowers from second, and another run cuts the deficit now to 10-7 in favor of the Tigers.
The fastball middle way and did not try to pull it. Stayed inside, drove it up the middle. Big at bat for Walls and brings up Busby here with first and second, nobody out.
So Dylan Busby, who dropped down a bunt single in the 5th, came around to score on the 2-run home run by Jackson Luke, now steps in. So Busby's really seemed to find some rhythm as he's moved into that second spot in the lineup.
He's getting a little confidence as Clemson's going to have a conference on the mound here. Defensive conference. Doesn't look like any coaches are coming out.
So as I mentioned, Brandon Brooks Crawford, have given up just one earned run in 13 appearances. He's given up 3 straight singles and a run to the Noles here in the 6th. And so Monty Lee will come out and he'll go to the bullpen here. So we'll have a Clemson pitching change. And we'll have that new pitcher for you when we come back. Clemson leading 10-7. Well, new Clemson pitcher here. We look at Jeremy Beasley, junior right-hander from Lyons, Georgia, 6'3", 220 pounds. This is his 10th relief appearance of the season. Beasley 1-0 at a 2.31 ERA. He's worked 11 2/3 innings, given up 3 runs on 5 hits, struck out 13 and walked 5 opponents, hitting 128, but 3 of the 5 hits he's given up this year, Chip, have been home runs.
Just looking at that situation, come up here and you got the tying run to the plate. It's all you can ask for. Nobody out for Florida State. Busby up.
And a good part of the order here as Busby, as you had mentioned, comes to the plate. Noles looking to continue to cut this deficit. A Clemson lead that stood at one point was 9-0 and then 10-1. It's now dwindled down to 10-7 here in the bottom of the 6th. That ball is first pitch swinging by Busby and lifted behind us and foul. So Busby thinking he can get on top of the fastball from Beasley. But fouls it behind us. So Beasley had 0-1. That's grounded. 2/3 only play is to first, and a nice play by Cox to hang with that ball. But the runners advance. So Busby does at least a nice job of getting the runners to second and third on that play.
Just noticed the third baseman plays in. Grayson Burden again. Busby a swinging bunt. Nice pick, nice throw, nice play there all the way around. Cox held on to it, got the first out.
Tough hopper there for Cox to get a hold of there. So 1 out here. Runners at second and third for Jackson Luke, who in his last at bat hit a 2-run opposite field shot in the 5th. First pitch from Beasley is outside. Ball 1.
3-run lead. Clemson's playing the middle and the first base back. Giving up a run for an out. Here only in the 7th.
Ball goes to the outside. Called strike. Evens the count at 1-1 with 1 out.
Using our TrackMan system here, Beasley's throwing about 92 miles an hour.
That ball is fouled off to the left. So count goes to now 1-2. Foul tip there, stays alive just barely. The ball on the outer part of the plate just gets enough of it to tip it. Beasley worked a third of an inning in his last outing against Charleston Southern. Recorded the final out. Was credited with the win. They're in the top of the 11th as the Tigers beat Charleston Southern 6-5 on Tuesday night.
That foul tip Luke just had there on that tough pitch may help pay off for him.
And a swing and a miss. Goes back to the outside, but this time with a breaking pitch, and Luke swings right on top of it. So now 2 outs.
What a great pitch Beasley threw there. The 1-2 count, change up. Ball just, again, sunk away. Had him out in front. He fouled the previous pitch. Nice play. Nice pitch, Clemson.
So, strikeout now. Brings out 2 outs, and that'll bring up Quincy Naporti. 0 for 3. Ground out in a pair of flyouts. And that ball is lifted high to left center. Rollman underneath it for the out. So the Noles get 1 in the 6th to cut the deficit to 10-7. We played 6. Clemson 3-4-5 due up in the 7th. So go to the top of the 7th. Take a look at the Clemson dugout. The Tigers leading 10-7. Jim Voiles back out for the Seminoles here in the 7th. Getting the chop from some fans here in the stadium. Once again, nice crowd on hand as game 1 of a series. The pivotal ACC Atlantic Division matchup between these two teams. Take a look at Jim Voiles, who's back out. Closed out the 6th inning. And he'll be facing the 3-4-5 batters in the Clemson order.
Attendance for today's game, 5,753.
They just announced today's attendance of 5,753. So as I mentioned earlier, nice crowd on hand, and certainly as evidence of the attendance just announced today.
Shortstop, number 8, Logan Davidson.
So Logan Davidson now steps in. Davidson is 1 for 3. He's got a double and 2 RBI. He'll be first pitch swinging and grounds it to Mendoza, who will grab it and step on first himself. Cut it close there with Davidson hustling down the line, and Mendoza just steps on the bag before he touches the base for out number 1.
Going to get it there quicker. He beat Voiles there, it looked like.
Just beat him there. But 1 out now for Chris Williams, who's 1 for 3 with a double and 2 RBI. He walked in his last plate appearance in the 5th. Swing and a miss on a foul tip back into the glove of Raleigh. Ball misses outside now, 1-2. Usually when these two teams meet, Chip, usually it's got ACC Atlantic Division implications on it, whether it's who's going to win the division or who's going to come in second, really.
It has been that way.
And that ball is crushed out to left center field, but J.C. Flowers is there underneath it for out number 2.
Big cheer by Florida State crowd seeing the ball run down in the outfield. What did Clemson's been swinging the bat tonight? A bunch of doubles in the gap. Just under that ball just a little bit too much.
Right fielder, number 28, Seth Beer.
As I mentioned, from 2006 to 2014, when the ACC moved to divisions, the Atlantic Division was claimed by either Florida State or Clemson in each of those 9 seasons. Florida State had 7 titles. Clemson got the first one in 2006. Then they shared the title in 2010. Last 2 years, it's been Louisville who's claimed the division title, and this year, right now, it's Louisville and Clemson. that are looking for the Atlantic Division crown right now. Take a look at Seth Beers, 2 for 3 with a home run and 2 RBI. Grounded out to grounded out to the pitcher in the 5th. So now 1 and 2. Jim Voiles ahead of Beer. Mentioned Seth Beer had a tremendous freshman campaign 2016 when he hit 369 in 62 games. He had 18 home runs and 70 RBI. This one fouls off. Count remains 1 and 2. He became the 3rd Tiger to win the Dick Howser Trophy. He won it as a freshman, which is always impressive. Joined Chris Benson and Cleo Green. Some nice names there.
Good names, complete good names. Big time players.
Especially, and became the first freshman to win the award. So called strike 3, nothing doing there for Clemson in the 7th. Nice job by Jim Voiles for a 1-2-3 inning. So we'll move to the middle of the 7th, and as usually happens on Saturday games here at the ballpark, is tribute to our military, and now God Bless America. So we'll stay here as we pay tribute to America and God Bless America. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 7th here. Jeremy Beasley still on the mound for Clemson. Jim Voiles just turned in the first 1-2-3 inning for the Noles. He's retired the 3-4-5 batters in the top of the 7th. So now after scoring runs in each of the first 4 innings, Clemson has gone scoreless in the 5th, 6th, and 7th. Cal Raleigh to lead things off, and he puts it into the gap in right center. A nice job by Pinder to get to the play. Comes up a little limpy on that play, but first pitch swinging by Raleigh. Puts it to the gap in right center. Chase Pinder does a nice job to getting to the ball, and then slips when he throws the ball and comes up a little limpy, but
Clemson has that hill in right field all the way around the ball field. It grows up about 8 or 10 feet or so, a slope. I'm used to playing on the rocks, and both their outfitters, center field and left fielder, there with Rollins hit the rocks out here on the warning track tonight.
Probably so used to trying to get to the ball before it goes up that hill because it can. Who knows what will happen once it gets up that hill? It's not as big out in right center as it is out in left center to center, but still. Probably ingrained in them to get to the ball before it gets to the wall. That brings up Drew Mendoza.
And Florida State's held Clemson off the board in 5th, 6th, and now to 7th. Florida State has scored in the last 4 innings.
Beasley goes to the outside on that pitch. Called strike. So now 2-1 to the freshman first baseman. It was 1 for 3 today. Dropped the bloop single to left in the fourth. Came around to score. So now here. Swing and a miss on that pitch on the outside. So now 2-2. And
that's a rarity. The handle came off the bat, Jason. The bottom of the bat, the handle popped off on a swing. It wasn't even contact.
Swinging so hard on that one.
Yeah. Watch the handle come off this bat.
Oh, yeah.
Came off his hand, yeah.
Saw it fall right in front of him, and he takes a look at the bat saying, what just happened there? So he'll look for some.
Been to the factory. Seen how they're made.
So you're surprised that happened?
Well, the bottom of the bat's heated up. Watch the knob of the bat come off with the swing. There's the knob. Great camera work.
See it trickle down right in front of him and land just behind the plate. So now with a new stick, and it's now 2-2. Folks here inside the stadium are getting a look at that replay as the
got a new bat
handle
for
comes
Mendoza.
off there. So now 2-2. Beasley stares in. That'll miss outside. So now the count is full with nobody out. Raleigh at first. Knowles trailing 10-7 here in the bottom of the seventh. Mendoza will call timeout.
Mendoza with a verbal call timeout. Don't put your hand up. Pitcher may throw it.
The ball misses low. Mendoza checks his swing. So now first two runners on for FSU here in the seventh. After a Raleigh single and now a Mendoza walk. That brings up Red Applin. Applin 1 for 3 on the evening. Singled in his first plate appearance in the third. Flew out in the fourth. Struck out in the fifth.
Applin with 6 home runs, tied with Quincy Naporte. Leads the club.
We get a mound visit here, and it looks like from Monty Lee, and typically when he comes out to visit, it means a pitching change, and that's exactly what it'll be. It will call for a lefty.
A little hesitant going out, looking back to his pitching coach who's on the communication. Here comes the left-hander out of the bullpen for Clemson to face the left-hander hitting Applin.
And we'll get to that new pitcher when we come back here in the bottom of the seventh. And welcome back to the new pitchers. Jacob Hennessy, freshman left-hander from Moore, South Carolina. 6'2", 235. Hennessy making his team-leading 18th appearance now. 1-0 record with a 2.05 ERA. Got a pair of saves on the year. Leads all relief pitchers with 26 and a third innings. Giving up 8 runs, 6 earned, 20 hits, 9 walks, and 30 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .215 against Hennessy. It's not every day you see a freshman leading in appearances out of the bullpen. But as I say that, I remember Chase Haney.
Getting led Florida State in appearances last year, the sidearm right-hander.
So maybe not every day, but just last year. So Monty Lee goes to get a left-hander to face the left-handed hitting Applin, and Martin will stick with Applin here. Applin has a team-high 4 home runs and slugging .593 in ACC play.
Defense for Clemson's looking for a bunt, playing the first base in, and second base is really short on a double play position. Big hole to the left side.
This ball, Applin not showing bunt at all. On that one, fouls it off to the left side, so now behind 0-2. So Hennessy doing what he needs to do, coming into a ball game with runners on and pounding the strike zone and doing exactly that.
Applin, the leading hitter for Florida State.
And a swing and a miss on that pitch. So 3 pitches and a strikeout for Hennessy.
1, 2, 3. 3 pitches, came in with a hard slider and just got him.
So that'll bring up J.C. Flowers. 1 for 2 on the evening. Singled in the 6th, walked in the 4th, and scored both times.
See, first baseman Andrew Cox playing in, looking for a push bunt off Flowers.
So Hennessy coming in and pounding the strike zone.
Seeing that first strike, you see Cox at first base back up.
Fouls off that one, so now 0-2.
That's why this kid leads the club in appearances. Comes in and throws strikes.
Absolutely.
Got some good stuff.
Absolutely coming in, throwing 5 pitches and all strikes. Exactly what you want when you make the call to the bullpen.
Flowers had a 2-strike base hit to the left side just off the glove of Davidson. His last time around, ended up scoring.
Timeout call, so both Flowers and Hennessy will reset here. 1 out, bottom of the 7th. A little cat and mouse right now. Check swing, and he goes, says Brent Rice.
They didn't call one earlier. How can you call that one? But then again, let's look at the replay. It's where the bat head goes. It's not. Watch the bat head.
Second baseman, number 24, Matt Henderson.
Saw a little bit of wrist break.
Definitely close there, and Brent Rice.
Jordan Green for Clemson did earlier, popped the hands, but the hands kept coming forward with the knob of the bat going toward the pitcher, so he did not snap the wrist, and that was a bit of breaking the wrist there for the out.
That brings up Matt Henderson now. Henderson having a nice evening, 2 for 2. First ball thrown by Hennessy. 7th pitch, first ball. Matt Henderson hit by a pitch in the 3rd, 3-run double in the 4th, and then single in the 6th. Single back up the middle by Matt Henderson and continues his nice evening, and Cal Raleigh will come around and score. So give the Noles their 8th run of the game. Continues to chip away at the lead, and Matt Henderson just having an absolutely fantastic evening.
Cal Raleigh with a 2-out jump there at second base. Gave Mike Martin a good look. Did the throw come in? Did he get enough on it? No, he did not. Raleigh slides in there with the 8th run. Noles only down 2. Top of the order coming up with 2 out.
Top of the order now, and Taylor Walls steps in. 2 for 4. And Matt Henderson having an outstanding evening. As I mentioned, 4 hits for the senior second baseman. 3 hits for the senior second baseman.
Picking ball in, just missed.
So as they just announced, 3 hits season high and 4 RBI for Matt Henderson, a career high. And that'll be an opposite, and that'll drop in. That'll drop in between Cox and Green there, sort of no man's land. But the ball drops in for a single for Walls. Bit of a jam shot that no one can get to.
So you've got to get him. Mike Martin Jr.'s trying to get him to go. He wasn't going full speed. I think he just assumed that ball was going to be thrown to first base. You've got to go hard to give your third base coach a chance. You're maybe not going to take a chance with 2 strikes, but you got to get 2 out. You got to give a good look. Bases loaded. Coming up here for Busby.
So that'll cue another mound visit from Monty Lee, and once again goes to the mound, and he'll call on a right-hander to face Busby. Bases are loaded now. We'll give you this new pitcher when we come back. Knowles continuing to thread here. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the 7th. So the 5th pitcher of the evening for Clemson will be their closer in Riley Gilliam. Gilliam, a sophomore right-hander from Kennesaw, Georgia. 5'10", 175-pounder. He's done a nice job in his first season as the Tiger closer. He's 1-0 with a 0.44 ERA. This will be his 14th appearance. He's got 3 saves. He's going to have just 1 earned run in 20 1/3 innings. Struck out 30, walked 7 opponents, hitting just 118 against him. Not too bad.
20 innings, as you said, and 8 hits. 4 of them doubles. Tough guy to hit off of. Brings up Busby. Gilliam has yet to give up a home run. Mentioned earlier, Florida State can make a run at it. Stay in this ball game, peck away, score some runs, and put some pressure on Clemson's bullpen. They've had to bring arms in. It may turn out well for Florida State tonight, but at least put some pressure on them throughout the weekend. Using the guy's arm, using their throws and stuff.
So credit to the Seminoles for continuing to pound in, and ball comes in and just misses Busby. Busby goes back to Frank and says, "Sure that didn't hit my shirt there," but 1-0 the count.
Riley Gilliam will let it go about 94, 95 miles an hour. A lot of juice, a lot of movement.
That curveball in there for a strike.
Hit with that.
Count goes to 1-1 to Busby. Busby's 1 for 3. Had a bunt single and scored in the 5th. Had a breaking pitch in there for a called strike. So now 1-2 to Busby. Bases are loaded.
That was a hard slider. Previous pitch looked like a curveball. Mentioned he got looking for the curveball, breaking ball away. He can throw that fastball in on your hands.
Breaking pitch up the middle. This will score 2 runs, and we've got a brand new ball game. And a really gutsy play by Walls, trying to stretch that out, especially with the tying run just scoring in front of that tag. But here we take a look at Busby lacing that ball back up the middle. No question Mendoza scoring, and then Henderson.
You better get there, son. It's 2 out. You just tied it up. A lot of momentum. The crowd has stayed in the ballpark. There's not 5,000 here now, but they're staying in the ballpark are going to get a treat. Again, the Knowles were down 10-1 and have tied it up here in the 7th.
And a tip of the hat to those who have stayed here. And the Knowles looking to continue that momentum here with Jackson Luke at the plate. Runners at the corners now. We've got a brand new ball game, Chip Baker. 10-10.
J.D. Drew mentioned earlier, back in the 3rd inning, the magic at Dick Howser Stadium. He shows up tonight, and look what happened.
Still waiting for Martin to single to 39 down in the dugout, and him coming out with the yellow jersey on. But here Jackson Luke steps in, runners at the corners. That ball misses in the dirt. Nice block by Williams to keep that in front of him. So now 2-0 to Jackson Luke. And it is amazing, Chip. So you've been here for a few years, and just in terms of what this crowd and how this crowd can really get into the heads of the opposing team. And here we were sitting 10-1 Clemson. And then all the Knowles have done is continue to chip away, and now we're 10-10 here in the bottom of the 7th. And that's a hard shot, but Boyd gets it and makes a strong throw over to Cox at first. But the Noles strike for 3 runs here in the bottom of the 7th. Credit to Dylan Busby with a 2-run single to tie this game up as we head to the 8th. We've got a brand new ball game here in Tallahassee as we go to the top of the 8th. All tied up at 10, with the Noles scoring 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Racing a 9-run deficit, and we'll head down to the third member of our party, and Arya Masudi. Arya.
Jason, thank you so much. Well, how fast can a game shift in the game of baseball? At one point, you thought Clemson was going to run away with this thing, but Florida State scored runs in the last 5 innings, a 3-spot there in the bottom of the 7th. Guys, let me tell you what, Dick Howser Stadium is rocking. The fans are out of their chairs. They're hooping and hollering. I mean, you got Mongo down there doing his thing, getting the Section B animals riled up, and then it's affecting the team in the dugout. The body language has totally changed of Florida State's team. The early innings, you had players slumping their shoulders, not talking to each other. Now everyone's on the top deck of the dugout, stepping outside of it. You just really wonder how much momentum can change in just a short time.
No doubt about it, Arya, and thanks for that information. And absolutely, I mean, total change of momentum here where you had Clemson up 10-1, and then all the Noles have done is continue to chip away with a run in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, a run in the 6th, and 3 more in the 7th to tie this game at 10. So brand new ball game, and now Jim Voiles falls behind Andrew Cox at 2-0. Noles will get the bullpen up and going here. Now we'll see how Clemson responds after losing a 9-run lead, and now we'll see how the Noles respond after erasing the 9-run lead and making it a brand new ball game.
Slow walk by Raleigh out to the mound. Ball's going 2-0. There's some action in Florida State's bullpen, and they're moving quickly.
And up and throwing is Drew Carlton. So we were wondering heading into this weekend series how Drew Carlton was going to be utilized. And to be honest with you, Chip, after they tied the game, I was surprised we didn't see him start the top of the 8th. Just knowing how important of a game this is for Florida State. That ball will miss low, so now 3-0. But obviously, after the inning Jim Voiles just had and going through the 3-4-5 order, you figure that he can go out there and continue the trend.
Big Key striking out Beer in that for the last out in the 7th.
So after falling behind with 3 straight balls, Jim Voiles pounds the strike zone with a strike there. So now 3-1 to Cox. Cox is 1 for 3, singled in his last plate appearance. Comes right back with a strike. So now 3-2 to Cox.
This crowd kind of got out of it between the innings. They need to get it back going here for Florida State.
Crowd was up doing the war chant, celebrating those 3 runs in the 7th to tie it. So now that ball lifted out to center field. J.C. Flowers is under it and makes the catch for out number 1.
With a breaking ball and a 3-2 count, got the fly ball to center field. Crazy, my box score here I'm keeping up. You have to get the extra inning here for Clemson to bat in the 9th, and I've already run out of space. You realize they batted around in the 2nd.
Tell you, rookie move right there. You should have gone into the 3rd inning to complete your 3rd inning. Head coach Mike Martin heads out to the bullpen, and they'll goes to the mound, and they'll go to the bullpen to make a pitching change, and it will be Drew Carlton heading out. We'll tell you more about Drew when we come back. 1 out here in the top of the 8th. So go to the top of the 8th here and 1 out, and Drew Carlton gets the call out of the bullpen, the junior right-hander from Lakeland, Florida, 6'1", 207 pounder. Big question coming into this series, Chip, was how they were going to utilize Drew Carlton this weekend. Were they going to bring him in as a reliever or possibly start him? And in this instance, coming in relief.
Taking him right in relief to tie ball game. He can get you a couple innings, maybe 3. Maybe get you a couple more possibly on Monday night if you need him. He's too good a pitcher for Florida State. He's not a guy who's going to come in and throw it by people, but he's a pitcher. He can pitch. He can throw in and out, hold runner. If players know who he is, they play well behind him. He's got a new pitch he's been throwing this year and hasn't thrown it. Other people, these guys haven't seen it. They faced him last year. He throws a cutter, and a hard cutter. Fastball moves hard in on left-handers.
And who'd have thought, Chip, in a game in which we saw a 10-1 Clemson lead, that in the 8th we'd have both closers in the ball game.
Clemson not wasting any time there with Jolly swinging first pitch off Carlton.
And Carlton with good numbers. This is his 16th appearance, 15th in relief. It's 2-2 with a 1.27 ERA, and that's a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Good fastball about 91, up in the end, not down but up. That's a big key in that.
Carlton's got the ball and is ready to go. Joy a little taking his time and getting back into the box, and here's the pitch. Misses low, so now 1-2 to the Tiger designated hitter. 2 for 4 on the evening. He's got a pair of doubles.
Good pitch. Just started it in, trying to get it to go back over the plate, and he just didn't get enough of it. Good pitch. Again, throwing the ball in off at the belt high, not low, but off the belt. Being very aggressive.
Ball fisted foul behind us, so now 2-2.
Another pitch up and in there. Jason, you get effective. You pitch the ball in. Then the hitters may have a tendency to open up a little bit, and they open up a little bit too early. You get the outside part of the plate. The out in front ball on pitches.
That ball will be hit out to short left center, but Jackson Luke coming on and makes the catch for out number 2.
His best fastball of the night, 92 miles an hour.
So now 2 away for second baseman Jordan Green. Jordan Green 0 for 4. Grounded out in the second and then struck out 3 straight times. That ball hit out to left center, but J.C. Flowers is there, camped under it for out number 3. So nice job by Drew Carlton to come in to get a pair of flyouts. Nothing doing for Clemson in the 8th. 4-5-6-2 up for the Seminoles in the bottom of the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, and it's the battle of the closers now for both teams. Riley Gillum on the mound to start the 8th inning. Take a look at the line score, and as we've mentioned numerous times in this game, Clemson's scoring scoring runs in each of the first 4 innings, but nothing doing the last 4. The Noles go scoreless in the first 2 innings, but then have scored runs in each of the last 5 innings to tie this game at 10 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. And Quincy Naporte to lead things off. He's 0 for 4 with a ground out and 3 flyouts.
For him, it's his 3rd time tonight he's led off an inning. He's the RBI guy leading the club with 41. He's got to do it all himself.
And could do that with one swing of the bat here and tries to do that. And the foul ball that goes behind Chris Williams and then clips Frank Sylvester. So Williams will go out to allow Frank Sylvester to collect himself.
Right on their right shoulder.
Yeah, clipped Williams in the mask and then got Sylvester there. Ground ball sharply to Davidson and short, who throws over for the first out. So hard hit ball, but right at Davidson, and Davidson does the job and thrown over to Cox for out number 1.
Cal Raleigh with a first pitch single to right side his last time around. Ended up scoring, being very aggressive at second base and scoring Florida State's big inning in the 7th.
Looks at a breaking pitch there for strike 1, but Cal, after popping up to the third baseman on a jam shot in the 2nd, walked, doubled, and singled. That ball will miss high and inside, so now 1-1. Check swing there and a ball into the dirt. So now 2-1. I have to say too, Chip, I think this is probably the most times I've heard the Noles cheer in a game this season, as the zookeeper is down on the concourse waiting.
Dominic, yes, got him going.
Waiting to, I think, start another Noles cheer. The runner gets on, and Cal Raleigh now ahead in the count, 3-1. That 3-1 pitch, fisted foul behind us. So now 3-2 to the sophomore catcher. And that ball fouled off, so Raleigh stays alive. Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch by Gillum. Nice pitch on a 3-2. So 2 away now here in the 8th. Take a look at that curveball here.
Tight breaking ball. Hit with it. Not down and in, but middle part of the plate. Hit with it. And he did. Brings up Mendoza with 2 out.
So 2 outs, as you said. Brings up the freshman first baseman. It's 1 for 3.
Sometimes, Jason, you have to tip your cap. Good guy on the mound throwing the ball well.
I think that's all you can do on that pitch. That was a nasty breaking pitch that Cal could do nothing with.
Mendoza sometimes, again, I really watch him in his career here, get a little bit of a guess hitter. He missed breaking ball first pitch. He's sitting dead red here. And he got it, just got under it. Dead red looking fastball, and he got it, just missed it.
Take a look, Mendoza, 1 for 3.
And that home run he hit Sunday at NC State was a 450-footer at least. Deep to right field, half 3/4 of the way up the scoreboard.
I was listening to the game on the radio, and from what Lulu was saying, it was quite the shot.
Lulu could recite the alphabet when that ball was in the air. It was a long time.
So now 3-1 to Mendoza. So Gilman's fallen behind to Raleigh and now to Mendoza. Came back to strike out Raleigh, and now 3-1 offering to Mendoza. Swing and a miss by Mendoza. He's looking for a fastball.
Yeah. Thing about it, he saw North Carolina pitchers 2 weekends ago, and he first started playing, and they had good arms, just like this young man here.
And the 3-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. So nice job by Riley Gillum. Sets the Noles down in order here in the 8th. So we head to the 9th. Still knotted at 10. Welcome back to Tallahassee here on the ACC Network Extra. We got our first inning in which no runs have been scored. And here we are looking at the Clemson dugout, and Monty Lee talking to his team, offering some words of encouragement here as the Noles have battled back, racing a 9-run deficit to tie things at 10 as we head to the top of the 9th. Clemson with the 9-1-2, been a very productive been very productive in today's game. And here, strike one to Grayson Bird. Bird's 2 for 3. Hit into a fielder's choice his last time out. This time ropes one to second, but can't handle by Matt Henderson. And Bird will reach. Ball that was hit hard, but probably a catch that Henderson should have come up with. Take a look at that play. It was a hard hit ball.
Jason, the toughest ball to play is the one hit that edge, and that ball was hit right at him. He couldn't get an angle. His hook in a little bit toward right field. Didn't get the glove on it.
And that'll go down as an error to Henderson.
You play your outfield deep because you can't let, again, the top of the order up, you can't let a double get by and let the runner score from first. You got to look for a bunt. Busby's crashing hard at third. Henderson's got to shorten up a little bit to be able to cover first. Got a great fielding pitcher on the mound in Drew Carlton, an athlete.
And facing a batter who hasn't been retired all evening long. Showing bunt. Sends a bunt up the first baseline. Mendoza will tag Pinder out.
Wow.
And they'll say no as the ball comes out of his glove on the tag.
Coach Martin's coming out.
So Coach Martin will come out to talk about this.
Hopefully umpire Frank, but see if the ball comes out.
It does. He tags him and the ball comes out. So Martin will go get an explanation from Brent Rice here.
Stayed right in the base pass in the runner's box. His next step took him out of the base pass, but not when he was tagged. And yeah. He had the out if he turned it through it. Obviously, you'd second guessing that, but you got to hang on to it. He's got that big glove.
So that'll go down as an error. So back-to-back errors for Clemson to start the inning. We bring up Reed Rollman.
Rollman leads the club in hitting, but he has 2 sacrifice bunts so far this year as Coach Martin goes back out.
But credit Pinder with a sacrifice on that play, although he reaches. But as we mentioned, back-to-back errors to start the top of the ninth, and head coach Mike Martin will go out. It's probably a situation where you just want to go in and settle Drew Carlton down. I don't think Drew Carlton's coming out of this game by any means.
His biggest things he's talking to his defense. You got a guy that's played first base 10, 11 ball games at the most, maybe 10. He's played some at third, so he didn't play that many at first base. Setting his defense what he wants to do. Any type of defensive plays, pickoffs or whatever. Slowing down Clemson's momentum a little bit.
After head coach Mike Martin visits with his players, Monty Lee doing the same with
veteran coach
the Clemson players.
Bradley LaCroix coaching third base. Veteran coach.
And so now after both teams huddle up, Reed Rollman will step in. Nobody out, 2 on.
And Florida State's had 3 days not playing this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Had worked a lot on situations, bunt defense. Busby's going to be playing in on the grass a little bit, opening up to make sure the runner does not steal. He has to read the ball.
Rollman looked like he was going to square around a bunt, and then all of a sudden just took a huge hack.
He did, about fell down.
Rollman tried to lay down a sacrifice bunt in the 5th, but popped out, which turned into a double play. He has 2 for 5.
Lead the club in hitting by almost 50 points. And the guys with the over 100 at-bats. I don't think they're going to take the bat out of his hand.
Once again, came down to show like he was going to do bunt, but this time didn't swing, and so now 1-1.
Middle infielder staying back deep, trying to deep as they play with 2 strikes. With the first and second. Carlton just missing up. And that ball was borderline. Just looked like Raleigh called it in his eyes, not the batter's eyes there, and rolling. Can't show a replay. Carlton pitches too quick.
Yeah.
Too quick
Gets
between
the ball
pitches.
and ready to go. So here we are, 2-1, nobody out, 2 men on for Clemson here in the top of the 9th. That ball is grounded foul, so now 2-2 to the Clemson left fielder.
That was his good cutter he threw there on his hands. A lot of times you don't want to throw a breaking ball down and into a left-hander, but that cutter, a kid named Rivera pitched for the Yankees a bunch of years, threw it about 94, and it doesn't go down as much as it goes sideways.
That guy was all right.
Wasn't bad.
He was all right. 2-2 pitch from Carlton outside, so now 3-2. We'll see what Monty Lee does here with the base runners.
Open bag it with the left-handed batter. Don't expect much. We've got Carlton on the mound. He's going to have to make sure he gives Grayson Bird a second look. He's at second.
That 3-2 pitch fouled off. Reed Rollman certainly getting his hacks in here. This one was swinging out of his shoes. Like channeling his inner Jason Worth.
Realize it early in the count. They missed it where Rollman did pop up that bunt, double play ball earlier.
That ball is fisted out to center field and it'll drop in for a base hit. So now, base hit by Rollman now leaves the bases loaded. Nobody out.
Thought for a second when that ball was up, it had enough air up on it for J.C. Flowers to get it. He kind of decoyed the base runners and held his glove up like might have had a chance, but those guys got better view of it than I did. Bases loaded here with a freshman. And Logan Davidson.
So the corners will play in. Henderson and Walls will play in double play depth. So it's like they'll sacrifice a run to get a double play if they can. That brings up Logan Davidson, who gets a called for a strike on a breaking pitch on the outside part. He's 1 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. I guess explain maybe that's strategy here in the top of the 9th with the tie game, Chip.
See if he comes here with 2 strikes. A lot of times he may bring the infielders in and make charge here with 2 strikes, trying to cut down the runner. Think about if you play the middle back, if he gets a base hit the infield in, and there's 2 runs are in.
0-2 pitch. Davidson stays alive, fouling that one back behind him. So now count remains 0-2. Nobody out here. Bases loaded.
Davidson with 30 strikeouts leads the club here for Clemson. Good time for Florida State. Carlton could get one here. Infield may come in right here on this pitch with 2 strikes.
And they do. 0-2 pitch, here it is. And it's grounded foul.
I cheated on it. I saw Coach Martin look at his infielders and wave them in with the pitch. Now their middle's going back. It plays sometimes in a hitter's mind a little bit if you see the infielders coming as the ball is pitched. So Davidson's already seen that.
And swing and a miss on a fastball high in the zone. Gets Davidson to chase it, so out number 1.
His biggest strikeout Florida State's had this year with a fastball with a cutter. Looked like it was up and it's had a little movement on it.
So a great pitch by Carlton gets Davidson to chase, as you mentioned. Clemson's leader in swinging strikeouts. Strikes out there in a big situation. So now with 1 out, brings up the catcher and Chris Williams.
Corners of the infielders are still in, looking for possible something on the ground.
That ball is popped up, and it'll go out of play behind us. So now 0-1. Williams is grounded into just one double play. As you see, he's 1 for 3 with a double and 2 RBI. Flew out to center field his last at bat. 0-1 pitch from Carlton. It's called strike on the outer part. 0-2. Williams not really liking that called strike by Frank Sylvester. Gives a little look back. But as a catcher, you don't want to.
Williams says, hey, come on, Frank. I'm a catcher. Come on now. I need that pitch.
So quickly back in the box now, 0-2. Carlton sets.
Crowd wanted that when you see Raleigh moving around back there, set up away, move back in. Trying to get the catch, maybe taking a peek at you some.
Thought maybe they
Good
could
miss.
get that call. But yeah, good miss on the fastball on the outer part of the plate. So now 1-2 to Williams.
I might have got that backwards. You might have set up in and went away. Looking at the monitor and looking at the live screen, get mixed up here.
Called strike 3 on a breaking pitch that Williams looks back at Sylvester and says that ball was up. Sylvester thinks otherwise for the called strikeout.
That big cutter. Raleigh called it below his eyes, below his mask. The strike zone has a top to it and has a bottom to it and has sides on it. Got a piece of the top of it.
That's all it needs. Just nip the box. And here we are, bases loaded, 2 outs, and, well, Seth Beard. Beard struck out looking in the 7th, but homered in the 4th. Big situation here, bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 9th. Ball in the dirt, nice play by Cal Raleigh.
I was looking at it earlier. Just kind of timing. This is the guy, like I said, that could do some damage, really hurt you. And if Florida State had not allowed these base runners, he wouldn't have bat at all this inning. Now he's up here with 2 out, bases loaded.
That ball misses inside, so now 2-0. So certainly momentum has now shifted in favor of Seth Beard here.
See the shortstop for Florida State, Taylor Walls. He showed a center field shot there. He's behind a little bit of a shift on. Busby's off the bag at third.
2-0 pitch. Called strike on the inside part of the plate. Fastball gets that one in. So now 2-1 to the Clemson right fielder and reigning Dick Howser Trophy winner. As mentioned earlier, became the first ever freshman to win that award last year.
I was at the College Baseball Hall of Fame last year, and I presented it to him.
2-1 pitch. It's lifted out to center field. Diving attempt by Taylor Walls drops in, and that'll score 2 runs. So Seth Beard comes up with a big 2-out hit here in the top of the 9th. A ball that was fisted in no man's land in short center. Taylor Walls makes a diving attempt on it and just comes up short.
Got turned around completely. Got the glove up there. Walls is a great athlete, great basketball player, and then he's got spun around, didn't get. He's mad at himself. He knew he should have caught it. He expects himself to catch it. And with 2 outs, 2 runs scored.
So after 2 big errors to start the 9th, those come back to bite the Seminoles here as Seth Beard comes up with a big 2-out hit in the 9th to give the Tigers the lead back at 12-10. So now Andrew Cox at the plate. And unfortunately, that's what happens when you fall behind in the count there, as Carlton did.
He had to hit with the breaking pitch. He had to hit with it and did a great job. Beard did a great job of getting a piece of it.
So Monty Lee will go out to talk to Frank Sylvester. Looks like they're going to come up with a pinch runner, and that pinch runner will be for Beer. So Adam Renwick.
Pinch running for Beer at first base, number 11, Adam Renwick.
Now pinch running for Beer at first base, number 11, Adam Redwick.
So that's been the Achilles heel for the Seminoles pretty much all season, Chip, in terms of the errors, and those errors have come back to bite them again here in tonight's game. After battling back, trailing by as many as 9 runs, to battle back and tie this game at 10, to only see that lead, to see that tie go by the wayside, courtesy of 2 big errors to open the inning. So now 2-0 pitch to Cox, swing and a miss by the senior first baseman. Hit by Beers, sort of taking the wind out of the sails here of the fans here at the stadium. Very quiet now, and
Great job by Raleigh.
misses inside. A nice job.
That ball go behind him. What a great job of saving a run there. It's one of those ultimate blocks.
So now 3-1. And he'll step to third, looked at first. Nothing going on there for the Tigers. The 3-1 pitch misses outside, so Cox walks, and that'll load the bases.
Unfortunate miss. That ball just got away from him. Keeps him loaded.
DH, number 12.
So Robert Jolly now heads to the plate. 8th batter of the inning. For Clemson. He's got a pair of hits on the evening, both doubles. It's 2 for 5. After a quick visit with Carlton, Raleigh back behind the plate. Jolly steps in. Now with 2 outs and the bases loaded, Clemson leading 12-10. Breaking pitch in for strike 1.
Get the last of the 6 doubles in the second inning for Clemson. Went the other way with it.
0-1 pitch. Called strike. So now 0-2 ahead of Jolly here in the 9th. And ball head out back to the mound. Carlton pounces on it and throws over to Mendoza for the 3rd out. But Seth Beer comes up with a big 2-out, 2-run hit to give the lead back to Clemson at 12-10. And welcome back here as we go to the bottom of the 9th. With the Clemson Tigers leading 12-10. Tigers regaining the lead courtesy of a Seth Beer 2-out, 2-run bloop single just beyond the diving glove of Taylor Walls in short center. But the 2 runs came across courtesy of a pair of Seminole errors. So now Knowles will bring up 7, 8, 9 here in the bottom of the 9th. And they'll face the Clemson closer in Riley Gilliam.
These last couple innings, as Florida State tied it up in the 7th. Both bullpens have been not expended, but used a lot, and both their closers.
And Gilliam starts off with a strike.
Here with Gillum extended what? This is his 3rd inning, Jason? Into his 3rd?
Yeah.
Into his 3rd, not
Into
3
his third.
full.
Coming off an outing in which he pitched 2 1/3 innings against Charleston Southern, last outing on the 11th. And season high for Gillum is 4 1/3 against Elon. earlier in the year in which he struck out 9 batters. That ball down low, 2-1 now to Red Applin. Applin is 1 for 4, singled in the third. As you mentioned, both closers being extended here. That base hit for Applin to get things going here in the bottom of the ninth.
Jason, I've been in the dugout many a time with Coach Martin. You're down in the ninth inning. All you want to do is get the tying run to the plate. Applin with the leadoff single, and that brings up Flowers.
And Flowers represents that tying run. He's 1 for 3. Walked and scored in the 4th, singled in the 6th. As you mentioned, taxing the bullpens here in game 1 of the series. And you look at it, especially in the closer role, Drew Carlton threw 40 pitches in an inning and 2/3. And now you got Riley Gillum, who's into an inning and a third, and has thrown 27 pitches.
Flowers with a couple home runs. Jason, he has a home run to right field over the big screen from right-handed side, and he hit one off the scoreboard a few weeks ago.
Looks at that 1-0 pitch for a called strike. Fastball. Near the letters. So now 1-1. Red Applin at first. Led off the bottom of the ninth with a single to left field. That breaking pitch misses, so now 2-1. 2 Flowers with Matt Henderson on deck.
Henderson on deck with 4 hits tonight. I know he'd like to get up there in a situation to help his ball club after letting that ball get away from him in the ninth.
That's foul tipped.
Well, now Frank Sylvester can have both shoulders hurt. That ball off his left one. Hit earlier on the right shoulder. Going Stoney, the Florida State athletic trainer, we're going to get Frank an ice bag, get him 2, 1 for each shoulder.
And Frank Sylvester, after a quick walk, is ready to go. Doesn't want anybody to come out and check on him there. So
Major League umpire last 2 days took one in the mass, had a concussion, had to lead the ball game.
So Martin will bring in pinch runner Hank Trueluck at first base. So Trueluck will be running for Red Applin. So here we go. Gillum steps back to the mound. 2-2 to Flowers. That breaking pitch. Check swing. No go, says Brent Rice on that one. So after getting called out on a check swing in the 8th.
About as much. Clemson wanted it. Look at the dugout pointing at it.
Close one on that one. Brent Rice says no, so now 3-2 to the freshman center fielder. Hank Trueluck on it, first pinch running for Red Applin. Timeout call by Flowers. So both Gillum and Flowers were reset here. And swing and a miss, gets him with a fastball.
Just overmatched him, a 3-2 fastball above the belt, but below the armpits. Tremendous pitch. Big out.
And as you mentioned, brings up the hot-hitting Matt Henderson, who's had an outstanding evening with 3 hits, reached base on all 4 plate appearances. Season high of 3 hits, driven in a career high 4 runs.
Big RBI, 3 RBI double in the 4th, batting right-handed.
Comes in here, sees the first pitch from Gillum with a called strike on the outer part of the plate. Gillum goes to the same spot, gets the call from Frank Sylvester again, so now 0-2. Matt Henderson looking to keep the inning going here in the bottom of the ninth here with one out. Hank Trueluck on at first. And a called strike three on a breaking pitch.
Hard breaking ball. Hit with it right down the middle of the plate.
So Gillum certainly showing no signs of faltering here. So he's now working his third inning of relief in tonight's game.
Taylor Walls started the week off Tuesday with the first inning home run against the University of Florida. It'd be a good time for him for Florida State right now. Tie this thing up.
Taylor Walls 3 for 5 with 3 singles. Looking to keep things going here for the Seminoles here. Trailing 12-10 in the bottom of the ninth. That ball low, so now 2-0.
Jason, Clemson's outfield, obviously, with the runner on first in the 2-run ball game, you're playing the outfield deep, no doubles. They let the tying run get the second. But this allows, if they're playing that deep, it allows base hits to fall in front of you.
Looks like Chris Williams wanted that pitch, that last offering from Gillum, and that one is fisted foul by Walls.
And Clemson, Gillum's not afraid to throw that ball in.
It's now 2-1 count to Walls with Trueluck on at first. Ball will miss high, so now 3-1. Walls represents the tying run at the plate.
Clemson's got a low, 18, 19 hit batters for the year. Comparison to Florida State with 37.
I think Trueluck takes off on a 3-1. Fouled off, so now 3-2.
Andrew Cox is playing behind at first base, playing behind Trueluck. Just make sure to pitch your pitches.
Definitely be going here. Everyone playing back. Walls looking to extend the game. And a swing and a miss, and that'll do it. Riley Gillum comes in, and after giving up a single to Red Applin, strikes out the side to seal the game in Game 1 for Clemson. A game that certainly was riding the momentum high for Clemson early, running out to a 10-1 lead, and then the Noles slowly chipped away to tie the game at 10, but then 2 errors to open the ninth inning by the Seminoles led to a pair of unearned runs for Clemson, giving them the 12-10 victory.
Almost like 2 different ball games, but you got to credit Florida State down on a big hole, down 10-1, fought back, tied it up. Clemson was very fortunate to get the base hit just outside the glove of Taylor Walls diving in short center field.
So Game 2 will be tomorrow at 2 p.m. It'll feature Alex Eubanks of Clemson, who's 5-2 with a 2.92 ERA, and Tyler Holton, 4-1 with a 4.27. We'll hand it down to Arya Masudi, who's got Seth Beard to start tonight's game. Arya?
Here with tonight's player of the game, Seth Beard. Seth, congrats on the victory. You guys jump out to a really big lead, and then the big hit in the ninth inning. Just tell me what you saw and what your approach was at the plate.
You just want to stay true. Knowing the situation, obviously you're going to get a little bit amped up. So, I was just trying to, in between pitches, just take a deep breath and relax and just slow the game down. In a situation like that with a crowd like they have, which is just incredible, you can it can kind of get to you sometimes. So I just tried to stay true and just stay up the middle. I hit it off the end of the bat a little bit, but I was so excited.
Obviously this year after the season you had last year, you'll see less pitches. I know it's got to be frustrating, but how you kind of handled it and approached at the plate?
I just started to enjoy the game again. If you think about things too much, this game can get really hard really fast. So I just tried to, just start enjoying it and play it like I did when I was a kid.
And then the way Florida State came back, obviously that's got to be a little bit of a shock, but that's the credit to your team. They don't really get rattled. Talk about your team and type of attitude you guys have had this season.
You know, I just love every single one of them. You know, someone steps up big each game throughout these games. He's just such a great, great team to be a part of, and I'm just so happy for this victory.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ari, and indeed Seth Beard coming through with 2 big hits, a home run, and then that 2-run single in the 9th. And on J.D. Drew night, where his jersey number is unveiled, the Noles can't come through, falling to Clemson 12-10. So for Ari Masudi, Chip Baker, and the rest of the ACC Network Extra crew, I'm Jason Latormi saying so long from Tallahassee, where the final score is 12-10. Good night from Tallahassee. This has been a presentation of ESPN.